That's the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I put the
So I
link in
do listen.
chat.
I do listen to that every once in a while, or at least follow up with it. And Cam, man, I love Cam. Cam makes some very valid points. He's still all about Cam, of course, because that's just his personality, and that's fine. He's a prima donna. There's nothing wrong with that.
All
I'm
right,
But he
Blitz is
does
coming
make.
back in.
so sorry about that.
What's
Uh
up, Blitz? Welcome back, man.
hey, yeah, they
Where'd you
were
go, man?
lost power.
How was your poop?
Wow.
It's all right, man. You don't have to hide it from us, brother.
Oh man. Nah, if
Oh
if if
man.
if that would if that was the case, it would have taken a lot longer. Um what I miss? What I miss?
I mean, we were just talking about the whole thing about how the NFL controls this whole thing and how many injuries have been involved in the NFL because we don't have enough preseason. Nobody's really in what we would call old school game shape. Um, Hamstring
They're talking
quads,
about
stuff to
adding
put you
an extra game to the regular season and
right.
taking away a
So
preseason game.
another preseason and
Joint
televising more of the
practices.
joint practices.
So
So that's what the game plan is going to be. And now we're seeing this from injuries like quad injuries, Achilles tightness, hamstrings. Same thing you see in baseball with when you go 0 to 60, that's where your quad and hamstrings come in to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a physicality thing, it's 0 to 60. And it's,
Mm-hmm.
it's, it's, it's sprinting off the line, going from 0 to 60.
yeah.
And and this it's been a problem over the last few years, and we're seeing it. Puka Nakua, Christian McCaffrey. We got guys on the IR that absolutely slayed it last year, and no one's getting to do anything but walkthroughs. They're not playing in preseason. They're just doing practice, joint practice, um, light hits, stuff like that. And they're not doing 0 to 60. They're dialing it back a little bit. So it's turning like Corey said, it's almost like a flag football thing. And it's like, a quad injury, it has 4 to 6 weeks. A hamstring, you're looking at 4 to 6 weeks. Um, you know, so it's you don't overcome those just by resting for a week or so.
Mhm.
It's not like a twisted ankle that you could overcome and work through it, and it's better to work. Hamstring and quads are like stay off of it, don't do anything, and it's going to take 3 4 weeks, and now you've got to rehab it while you're doing it. So I mean that 3 week lead time turns into 4 to 6. You put someone on IR, and it's killing the players out there because practice is so lenient now. It's like there's no get out there in the 100-degree heat in August,
Mhm.
or let's go bang heads, where it used to be where it was 4 preseason games. First game you didn't see the starters, but the second and third you saw starters at least for a quarter or 2 quarters. It used to be first preseason game you saw hardly any starters. Second preseason game, you saw them for at least one drive, 2 drives, 3 drives.
Uh-huh.
The third preseason game, you watched them play a whole half. And then the fourth game is all about just whoever's trying to make the roster, right? Now you got 3 games and no one plays. It's just all about who's going to make the roster, your second string, maybe a few starters play a little bit here and there. And you're going out there from 0 to 60. And this is like some of the lame injuries, like the Grant Hill, the King Griffey Juniors, the how about this? The Horn injuries.
Mm-hmm.
They're all kind of accidental. Yeah, Horn's injury prone, but it's all like crap injuries. Like it's incidental. Like it's either like someone
Yeah.
stepped on his foot, or
Yeah.
it's a hamstring tightness. Because guess what? We didn't practice in preseason. You know, And it's like, and Horn gets a bad rap about being injury prone. And it's like, well, I mean, times have changed, you know, so now we're still seeing it. I own Christian McCaffrey in 3 freaking leagues in fantasy because I had the first pick in every single league.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Impressive.
So, yeah, it's impressive until you draft Christian McCaffrey and he's out for 4 to 5 weeks
Oh,
in every single league.
Yeah,
Good
that
thing Alvin,
yeah. That'll do it.
good thing Alvin Kamara is putting up Christian McCaffrey numbers plus, and
Right.
I've got him. And it's also like everybody's like, well, maybe you should have
Macheo's
taken
out for 4 weeks too.
That's right. And I
me.
got Puka Nakua
Oof.
in one league. That was a keeper of mine because I didn't even draft him last year, so he only cost me a 13th round draft pick, and he's out on IR. And you look at these guys. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the next run here is there's a reason the Jets drafted Braylon Allen. Okay, Brees Hall is
This
not
dude's
going to
about
be
to
the
pop
starter.
off.
He's going to pop off, and Brees Hall is
I'm
not
telling
going
you.
to be the number one there. They're going to trade him this year to someone because Braylon Allen is going to be the future there. And so, that's why everybody's like, well, man, maybe you shouldn't have taken McCaffrey in every single league. It was like, well, who else was going to take? Tyreek
Right.
Hill or Brees Hall? I was like, I mean, we got Tyreek Hill out here trying to get arrested
If
on the way to the
CMC
game
stays healthy, he is a monster.
Yep, that
every
much
year
is
until
true.
I own
Everybody
him.
knows his
That's right.
fantasy numbers are off the charts.
That's right. Absolutely. And I like Brees Hall. I mean, I own Brees when I always own players like that 1 year too early. But now they got Braylon Allen, and Braylon Allen is going to be the stud. I mean, he outplayed Brees this week, and it's like, dude, it's a matter of time before they trade him
I'm
because
waiting for it, man.
Because who's going to pay? They're not going. Why would you pay him, who's already been on the team for 2 years? Why would you let his rookie contract expire? You just trade him. You got another guy that's already got 4 years left on a rookie contract in Braylon Allen. So, I mean, if Hall's been there for 2 seasons, then he's got 2 seasons left on a rookie contract, which we also know where he's going to go with that. Next year, he's going to want his pay raise a year early. They'll trade him for the deadline. They'll trade him to like Minnesota or the Raiders or, somewhere else. And that's the whole thing the Dolphins are doing. You got a chain down there and you've got multiple running backs. Somebody's going. It's not going to be a chain. They're going to keep him. He's a Swiss Army knife. He's like he's another version of Christian McCaffrey. He can catch. He can run after the catch. He can run the ball. He can do whatever you need him to do. So I mean, he's not going to be the odd man out. And plus, he's got 3 years left on a rookie contract. And it's like we got Chuba, we got Miles Sanders. Miles really ain't costing us a whole lot. Miles actually impressed Canales this year in preseason, said that he puts in more work than anybody on the team. But they've got to show it on the field is what they got to do because we know Miles Sanders not a bum. He was a bum last year.
Yeah,
it's got to translate.
It's definitely got to translate.
Last year he was a bum, but last year, I mean, we can't blame anybody for anything other than ownership, GM, coaching, because the whole team was abysmal. But this year's a different year, and we can't even establish a run because we're down 17-0 before the first quarter ends. And it's like, okay, so we want to run the ball, but we can't run the ball because we're trailing by 3 scores, and it's hard to watch. But this weekend is going to be, I think we're going to see a whole different slowed down approach, and it's actually going to look like a professional football team with Dalton taking the rim back there. And I'm excited to see it because I think the players are excited. I think the fans are excited. The only person that's not excited is Bryce Young. And you know what? it is what it is. He should have
It
set
is what it
last year.
is.
He should have set last year anyway.
So, looking at this matchup, so
We do need to get to Cam Newton's reaction too.
Cam Newton's reaction to what
Yeah, on the benching.
to the Bryce
Yeah,
benching?
yeah. And I do want to say also, Cam Newton did react to Tua as well, the Tua situation, and
Mm-hmm.
he was tough. If anybody watched this, he may brought up some good points about the difference between an injury and you know eh, being hurt, and he's exactly right. And but I think at this point, Tua's dealing with what, 4 concussions now?
This was his third big concussion, fourth with the small one. But I will
Oof.
say this: Tua's problem
It's
is,
time to
and
retire, bro.
he needs to retire because what he does is, if you watch every concussion, it's not the defender's fault. It's Tua leading with his head
Right.
every single time. Watch the last one this week. He led with his head. He caused that whole thing with the guy that almost died last year.
Oof.
I mean, it was what's his name with Buffalo?
Nobody's pointing that out, by the way.
Oh yeah, the guy that hit him
Yeah,
was
you're
what's
exactly
his
right.
name? Yeah, and it wasn't that guy's fault. It wasn't his fault. Tua led with his head. Tua hit him head
Yep.
first, and he's done that on 3 of the big concussions. And
Let
the
that be a
smaller
lesson for players, man. Refine your technique.
slide when you're supposed to slide,
Yeah.
and he doesn't slide. He goes head first, and that was kind of a coincidental thing because what's the guy's name? I mean, I love the dude. The dude died on the field basically and came back.
Oh.
But he's the one that made the tackle. But Tua led with his head and hit him square in the thigh. And I mean, you could see it instantly. I mean, it's like, dude, I mean, that's all on Tua. I mean, it sucks, but
And
I mean,
yet the
that's your
rest of the league, with the NFL rules, is going to call helmet to helmet. No, that's Tua's fault. Are we going to
that's
get
Tua's fault,
a rule for that too?
right? I mean, you led with your head, dude. I mean, you
Yeah.
had the slide rule, and he was already past the first down marker. He was already like 3 yards past it. Slide, dude. What are you trying to do? You're trying to be Cam Newton and try to run it all the way down. Well, you're not
Bro,
6 foot.
stop it, Tua. Stop
You're
it.
not. You're not 6'5", 280 pounds with quick feet.
Exactly.
You know,
Oh man.
you're Drew Brees size,
Oh Lord, man.
Kyler Murray size coming in there leading with your head, and which I give him credit for because that's old school football. But still, do what you're supposed to do, man. I mean, everybody was giving Sauce Gardner or someone hell for wearing the protective cap on his helmet.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, why wouldn't I? He goes, I don't want to be brain dead. I mean, dude, Luke
People need to
Kuechly
talk
still.
more about the lasting effects of this. After these players retire.
That's right.
You got injuries that already happened. That are part of the game, and then you got concussions. You're already dealing with your body bruised up. Some of these people can't even freaking walk.
Yeah, I mean, you got
Right.
knee
You're
injuries,
talking
shoulder
56-year-olds
injuries.
that have retired from the game now. They can't even walk.
Yep. The brain
It's
injury
it's
is a big,
crazy.
and that's where like Luke hung it up because he was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
and
done.
he made a smart decision.
He made a very smart decision because Luke still had how many years left? I mean,
Yeah.
he was like, nah, I'm done. I mean, I'm not going to put
Damian Hernandez, Damar Hamlin. I think that's who you were looking for.
Damar
Yep.
Hamlin.
Yep.
That's
Exactly.
it. Damar Hamlin made the tackle, but if you look at it, it was nothing. Damar Hamlin came in the way he was supposed to come in. It was
I
all
think it's
Tua.
just Tua, though.
Tua came in head first and
Yeah.
hit him, and it wasn't a helmet to helmet. Tua came in and hit like pad to helmet. Like
Right.
he came
And-
in, the way he hit him was like in the upper shoulder pad, but he
Yeah.
tucked his head and he came in full speed
That's
and he hit and he got laid the hell out. And that's on Tua because you could have
yeah,
slid. You were already past the first down marker. You know, I mean, you look at guys like Phillip Rivers, he never got concussions and he was tough as
right,
nails, man. Phillip
right.
Rivers would just plow through you. And, I mean, Cam probably would have had a hell of a lot more. I would be more valid on like Brandon and everybody wanting to push this Cam Newton thing if Cam didn't get that injury that he got. The injury he got was a
And
shoulder injury, and you can't come back from that on a throwing arm. It's
Uh,
yeah,
hard to
and I
get.
kind of wanted to point out this too because when Cam Newton got hit, they were just in talks about the helmet to helmet rule. They didn't even put it out, And then once Tom Brady got hit, oh no, the poster boy for the whole NFL gets hit, and even his jersey gets grazed. Oh no, we got to have helmet to helmet rule, and I think it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. They didn't
speak.
do anything when Cam got hit.
Well, and it's
Nothing.
like, this year, let's look at like this past weekend, for instance, right? Three
All he
injuries
got was,
on
oh, you're too young to get that call.
this week alone. Three, four, actually four injuries. One wasn't really an injury, but drop tackle is what they were, the
Yeah,
same thing that broke Michael
yeah,
Vick's leg, right?
yep.
So that's how Mixon got hurt with his ankle.
Mm.
Jamar Chase almost got thrown out of the game because of a drop tackle and they didn't call it. Um, and then it was somebody else. Oh, Pacheco drop
Yep,
tackle
yep.
and broke his leg and broke his femur. I mean, there was three of them this week. It was really another one, but it didn't really affect the game.
Right.
But it was four drop tackles this week. They didn't even call, and the
Yep.
drop tackle rule, I understand because after watching Michael Vick break his
Mm-hmm.
leg from a
Mm-hmm.
drop tackle, then now it's a thing that they were supposed to be promoting this year. The referees were per the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We just watched three fantasy studs go down and one almost go down and almost get ejected because he argued it, and Jamar Chase go down from drop tackles. And it's where they're
Mm-hmm.
sliding and grabbing at the waist and pulling them to the ground. And it makes sense because we saw that. We saw that with I mean, hell, we dated all the way back to Randall Cunningham and Donovan McNabb, really,
So,
on drop tackles. But it really came to light in Michael Vick. And then it came to light, on a couple of plays over the years, but that was supposed to be their strong point this year that they were going to watch for was drop tackles. And this week we saw Pacheco with a broke leg, no penalty call. We saw Jamar Chase almost get thrown out of the game because of it, because he got in the ref's face and argued it and blah, blah, blah. We also
mhm.
saw Mixon get it on the ankle injury. And it's like, dude, if you're going to call the play, call the play. If it's a rule, it's a rule. And the drop tackle is dangerous for guys that are moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
because that's a creative way of taking someone down when you can't hit them or you don't have the
Right.
capability as being a hitter like a cornerback. Cornerbacks are the worst on it
so
because they're usually smaller and they're not going to hit you hard. So they're going to have to try to wrap you up and bring you down. So their way is to try to take you down like
Wow.
a bull. So you slide on your butt, grab them at the waist, and basically do like a jujitsu move to take them down.
so
And
eh,
it's
Yeah.
so in regards to that, since I know Tua was mentioned, Damian Hernandez asked, "Is the problem with Tua on coaching, or do y'all think it's just him?"
It's just him.
it's him.
He led with his head.
Yeah.
He's led with his head on every concussion he's got. I mean, I watched the videos of it. They did comparison the other day with Damar Hamlin. They did comparisons to last year that really almost could have ended his career. It's him. He leads with his head every time. Like, and he doesn't do it on purpose. He does it as like a fold up. Like he
Uh-huh.
comes in, he's not hitting like a running back would. He does it like, oh my God, I'm getting to get drilled. Let me just fold in. But he leads with his head. And that's on him. That's not on defenders. I
I, s-
mean,
I
two
see.
is at fault. Two is at fault on his concussions.
So we have started 10 different quarterbacks and had 7 different head coaches since David Tepper took over as an owner in 2018. His record overall is 31-70 since he bought the team.
I mean, that says a lot, and that's why one of the things
Wow.
I've said for the longest time is, as long as David Tepper's in charge,
Mm.
I don't know if it's like we're cursed or just
We will not win a Lombardi with David Tepper as an owner. I'm
You
saying it
know,
now.
I mean, I get it. I just
We're
still,
not
I
going
mean,
to do it.
honestly, we didn't win a whole lot after when Richardson got busted for his ass grabbing and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, Richardson was pro
At least we
NFL.
were competitive.
We were, but I mean, we still never had back to back winning seasons.
Yeah.
And,
But
but I
at
mean,
least we
Richardson,
were
we got
competitive
to
for the
think,
division, though.
we got to think Richardson was not a golden ticket. He got caught in some shit and was forced out of here. So the reason Tepper's here
I'm not
is
defending
because
him at all.
yeah,
right, I
like
get it. But what I'm saying is you can't really now I will blame Tepper on the Matt Rule hire. I
Mm-hmm.
think he tried to make up for it by putting together one of the what should have been one of the best coaching staffs in history.
yep.
I mean, he did.
Arguably.
He put it together. Arguably, I mean, he put together one of the best coaching staffs in history. I mean, it just didn't work out. I don't think that's an ownership problem. Yeah, he paid him and he put it together.
Because you're
But at the
trying to
same,
put like 4 or 5 different systems together into one place. It's like trying to jam 3 or 4 different uh, puzzles together into one
no, I
puzzle that
get it. It's
should
like
not
trying to
fit
play.
together.
It's trying to play
It's an
Yahtzee
island
out
of
of two
misfit
different
toys.
boxes.
And I
Yeah,
And
guess, and I
but
get,
you know what? At the same time,
they don't go together.
When Richardson was here, it was almost like we had a good thing going, and then on the tail end of his deal, it was almost like we did enough to get by. And why do you
Yeah.
hire Marty
Mm.
Herney back again after you fire him? Why did you
Yeah, that
fire
one was bad.
right? And why did you fire? Why did you let go of Bass from the get go and let him go to Buffalo? Why did
I
you
warned
do
y'all about
this?
Marty, by the way.
Oh yeah, Marty, man. I mean, everybody likes Marty because he's a nice
Why
guy.
would you hire him back
oh,
knowing
Marty
he's going
Herney.
to do the same thing he did before?
Oh,
Oh
Marty
yeah,
Herney.
you know why?
Yeah.
Because it was a comfortability factor. And then he went
Sure.
after. I mean, honestly, when we were
That's
hiring
an excuse.
when we were hiring Matt Rule, I honestly, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm probably wrong on this because the guy never got a head coaching job. But I was like, well, he also has off-field problems too, just like Richardson and everybody else has had. But I wanted Eric Bieniemy to be the head coach when we hired Matt Rule, and we didn't get him. We hired Matt Rule,
Hmm.
and Matt Rule was a joke, and he's a liar, and he's a bullshitter. The problem with that is we hired Matt Rule and gave him full control. That's where Tepper fucked up was he gave him
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
7
full control
years.
as a
7
GM.
years?
Yeah. And
Seven
7
Why?
years,
years.
7 years plus gave him
Not
full
even Belichick,
GM.
who's won multiple Super Bowls, got 7 years. I
And
mean,
on
come
top of
on.
that, and then you try to make up for it for hiring Federer, which I actually like the Federer hire, but Federer never had, he couldn't do anything because he didn't have the full
He
control.
was
Matt
locked
Rule did.
up in the first year. Yeah.
Matt Rule had full control of the
Yep.
team.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, so it's like, it's like, it's like he tries, he just makes the wrong, it's like he's trying to get married, but he keeps dating the wrong girls. I don't think
Exactly.
Tepper's I don't think Tepper's in it to try to destroy the team and try to
No, I
move the
don't think
team
so
or
either.
anything. I think he hasn't figured it out yet. And yeah, he's a pompous asshole. And but
Mhm.
so is everybody, every billionaire owner. Robert Kraft getting your massages and blowjobs in Asian
Good
parlor
point.
and doesn't get in trouble. I mean, Dan
Jerry
Snyder's a
Jones.
complete douchebag. Jerry Jones is one of the worst ever.
Hmm.
You know, the Chargers owner, the DeSante family or whatever over
Oh
there, they're
God.
terrible. I mean, it
Yeah.
goes all the way back to where Archie Manning said Eli will not play for them, will not play for you. You're going to trade for Philip Rivers. Then you try to ruin Philip
Oh
Rivers'
yeah,
career.
Right.
I remember
You know,
that.
Exactly.
Definitely
so I
remember
mean,
that.
these owners are total douchebags,
Yep.
and and Rivers went on to have a good career, and Eli went on to have a good career, and but they had to get away from these owners, and they had to go elsewhere to do it, and it's owners that just have too much confidence, and it's about 50% of the league. The other 50% you couldn't even name the Kansas City Chiefs owner, or
Right. The
let's
ones that are
say
actually succeeding, you can't even name the owner
right because they stay out
because
of
they've
it.
taken a step back.
Yeah, that is a good point.
They have
Yep,
not
and
interfered.
and
So,
and Tepper's tried to take a step back this year, and I don't know if it was his decision
Or
or
if
whose
everybody
it
forced
was
them to.
to get Bryce Young, but I wanted C.J. Stroud. And Mr. C brought up a great point early. The WIC test. I mean, C.J. Stroud was like down there at the bottom with Frank Gore, like all time
Well, part of that
history.
was they had him take that test at like midnight, right? Like at 11:45 at night or something
I
like
mean,
that. And
C.J.
it's like,
Stroud's a
why is
pretty.
that being taken at 11:45 at night?
I mean,
That's
C.J.
the first
Stroud
thing.
is well, right, but C.J. Stroud is not the smartest guy on the planet when it comes to a lot of things. I
okay.
mean, he's just, but he doesn't get in trouble, and he
Yeah.
keeps his nose clean, and he's an athlete. But at the
Right.
same time, they lost a lot of players. It's going to be interesting to see how this rolls with Mixon out with that ankle injury. Um, he was set up way better last year because their salary cap was better, and he had a great offensive line. He had a lot of good receivers. You can't keep
Mhm.
Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. I mean, you can't do it all every year. So last year he came into a different situation than Bryce did.
All three things that we don't have, folks.
Right.
Right.
Well, and this year they lost some offensive linemen. His stats have dropped. I mean, he's not okay. So from a fantasy perspective, last year no one even drafted C.J. Stroud, and in
Yeah.
in two of my leagues, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't even draft him.
Is a rookie.
Um, it was a rookie, but he came out and he killed it. He was throwing, I think, average was like 285 a game. This year it's like 240 a game so far. I mean, he hasn't
Nobody
looked.
drafted Trevor Lawrence either when he
No
first
one.
started out.
What I'm saying is like Stroud doesn't look
Or Patrick Mahomes.
as good and sharp as he did last year because they did lose two or three off the offensive line. They did lose, a little bit here and there. But he still hasn't made too many mistakes. But I mean, it was kind of a hard year to draft. Anthony
Mhm.
Richardson
Fair.
it looks like garbage. He
AR
doesn't
got
look
exposed
great.
for exactly who he is.
That's
Oof.
right. I mean,
So
and now we're looking at all these rookie quarterbacks this year, and no one's thrown a single touchdown. Anthony Richardson, he is poor man's Lamar Jackson. He looks like shit in 3 quarters, and then fourth
He
quarter,
can't
he
throw
throws
short
up
and
some
medium
stats.
passes. He can't do
That's
it.
right.
And the
He
combine
can't do it.
confirmed that. I watched the entire combine.
Mhm.
This dude did not complete a single short or medium
That's
pass.
right. I was actually to the point last year was if we're going to draft a quarterback, draft Will Levis late and just start someone else if we're not going to take Stroud because I did not want to trade up for Stroud. I did not want to trade up for Bryce.
Yeah,
And we were in a
I would have
weird
taken
position.
Levitz.
Yeah, later on. I mean, look
Yeah,
how far Levitt's dropped, dude. I mean,
we could have easily had Levitz.
Levitt's didn't even. I mean, Levitt's what got drafted in the second round.
Right.
I mean, he wasn't even
We could have
drafted in
gotten
the
like a
first
tackle in the
round.
first round.
That's
You know,
right. We
in
could have
retrospect.
gotten, dude. We could have gotten a lot there, man. And
Exactly. We could have got a defensive end. We could have got a linebacker.
we could have went and got Derek Carr,
Right.
which is the Saints guy. And
Yeah.
we could have said, fuck it. We don't need a quarterback for 3 years.
Right.
And let's go just not use any draft picks on quarterbacks. And waited till this year and said, okay, well, now we'll take a Drake May later. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you can't exactly predict what the free agency quarterback carousel is going to look like.
Well, we
so you
went
have
after
to kinda,
Derek Carr, but I mean, there was a lot about us going for Carr, and
yeah.
we didn't do it. So I mean, it was like
I did kind of side with the people that wanted Carr, to be honest, because I recognize the talent this dude had in Las Vegas, and he was kind of stuck in a bad situation.
it
But
was same situation Bryce is here.
right,
And,
but he had
and
a better offensive line. He had better weapons.
he has some stuff, but he's also a composed guy. And one thing I like about Carr
Right.
is, and I'm not a David Carr fan. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I think the guy's the greatest thing since
Yeah, he's
sliced
not going to
bread.
walk into the office and complain and be like, "Oh, I don't have
Dude,
enough."
He pumps his team up. He's an on the field
Right.
coach, and he's a leader. And he throws his helmet down, and he gets in, and he does what Drew Brees used to do. He does the opening statement, gets everybody hyped, and let's go out here and do this. He cries in
He-
post game interviews. He
He
shows the emotion. He wants to be there, and he wants to be the best.
he apparently got fined, I think 12,000 for that Michael Jackson touchdown celebration that he did.
Mhm. He did, yeah. He did a Michael Jackson
Oh.
celebration and
Yeah.
got fined for it. You're right.
Wow.
12 grand.
Yeah, he did the the crotch grab thing and
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Can't be
Yeah, he
doing
did
that.
the he.
yeah.
And he
Yeah.
did. He
Yeah,
did. And
yeah,
I
he got
like Derek Carr.
yeah, he got
And
fined for
man,
that.
they kept, dude, he had 0 receivers for 2 years. It was like, who's his receiver? One of them went to prison because he freaking killed someone in a DWI accident. I mean, he had running backs that were at the tail end of their career that's not there anymore. And the worked
Raiders would not go out and spend the money for these people.
That's right. And then they go out and they get what's his name from Green Bay, and then they get rid of Derek Carr, and it's like, so you went and got receivers for Gardner Minshew, but you didn't
Wait
get
a minute.
receivers.
Hold up.
And
Hold
tell
up.
me how you guys are doing any better in Las Vegas right now because of what you just did.
Hold up. Hold up. Am I reading this right? So he didn't get flagged for that, but he got fined for it.
That's right. Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He didn't get flagged for it.
Wait. So they didn't flag him for it, but they gave him a $14,069 fine. What?
Yeah.
That's absurd.
And you know what? Here's the kind of guy he is. He's like, whatever, man. I'll just pay the fine. I'm not gonna try to. He's not even gonna appeal it. He's like, whatever. He's the guy at the beginning of the game that gets everybody in there. If they're down by 3 touchdowns, he's slapping helmets and saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go out there and do this. He's that guy, man. I like him a lot.
I like his composure.
I mean,
I would love to have, dude, we could have got him here and the Saints took him, and look where the Saints are. Because I'm going to tell you what, dude, I'm going to tell you, I hate the Saints more than I do the Falcons and the Bucks.
Much better situation, though.
I just find
he goes down there without a Michael Thomas. He goes down there, and I thought it was okay. It was a fluke. Week 1, dude. When they came out and blistered Dallas's ass like they did, I was like, dude, the Saints are the real deal. Like, this team is better than anybody in the NFC South by far. They could win
Yeah.
the entire freaking NFC the way they're playing, and they still could. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys come out this week and they blister it again. I mean, dude, they're throwing, they're putting up freaking stats like the Patriots were with Tom Brady. I mean, in comparison, these guys could come out, and the Saints, no one's going to walk them down. Not in the NFC South for sure. I mean, they killed us. They killed the Cowboys.
I just
And it
find
was embarrassing to both. And I was like, that's why last week I was like,
44-19, folks, in
I
Dallas,
was
by the
like,
way.
in Dallas with Dak Prescott signing his $250 million extension the day before,
I
and went out
mean
there and absolutely embarrassed
I
And
mean
people want to
Dallas.
say Dak this, Dak that, But the thing is, Dak isn't the problem in Dallas. I've been saying that for years. Even with this, you're still looking at 27 for 39, 293 yards, a touchdown. Yeah, he did throw 2 picks during that game, but the Saints defense is good, man.
The defense is good. And what's really
Yeah,
disappointed me with
Dak is not
us
the problem here.
and with the Panthers, I mean, our offensive line is really not the problem. It's been a Bryce Young problem. It's been a lot of problems, but our defense, honestly, has been such a letdown. And I get it. We don't have, Josie Jules playing with an injury, and we don't have
He
what's
actually did pretty decently during that last game.
he did, but he's playing
Run
hurt
stopping.
right now, and he might not even play this week. And then we don't have Wanham on the field. Um, we lost a lot of players on defense from injury. We're not deep, but
so,
our defense on the pass has actually been pretty good, which was surprising because that's where I
I
thought our
thought it was going to
weakness
be the
was.
opposite watching him,
Right.
during
We
training
cannot,
camp.
dude, we cannot stop the run. We cannot stop the run. Every team has ran on us like we're just, the redheaded stepchild. I mean,
And
they run the ball on us, and we cannot stop a run at all. And you know what? It's not because we
where are the
lost Tom
Raiders
Burns.
ranked actually on the run?
Oh, they're not good. They're not good.
Pretty much next to
Um,
last, right? So
yeah,
even
yeah.
with that, they're still going to get like 150, 120 to 150 yards a pop.
Well, I
well
hope not
It's going to be
because
ridiculous.
well being that our D
We
line
gave up what 200 yards last week,
dude, we're giving up so much on freaking run.
and
Our
that was
run
against
def-
good running backs.
our run defense has actually been worse than our offense. Like I'm like not even worried about the offense. It's like, good lord, our defense can't do this. It's
We
like
missed Derek Brown, man. We missed Derek.
we are missing Derek Brown
yeah
for sure.
That
For
um
that would
sure.
cut those numbers down by at least a fourth.
but see we're
I
we're look
mean,
It
we're
would still blister us though.
we're looking pretty thin at the D line with no Shy Tuttle, no Derek Brown.
Yeah,
I mean, I know we're gonna have a Sean Robinson, but like our
yeah.
that D line, they're gonna really be tested, especially when you have a Max Crosby on the opposite end, which he is listed as questionable for the Raiders, but still, like,
I want to
but
get to
still, the
EQ
Raiders
too,
may look at it as we're not going to play anybody.
and I
uh,
want to get to EQ because EQ was our sacks leader, and this dude got demoted to practice squad.
oh, Iku Leota, yeah.
Yeah, what is going on here? You got Felipe Franks coming back up to the 53-man roster, and the only reason he is still there is because he blocks better
And then
than Jordan Matthews. Like, okay, so what? 100 other tight ends on the free agent list could block better than Jordan Matthews. That doesn't mean that the other talents are getting overshadowed.
yeah, I don't really understand like
And you want to
the
demote Iku? We got like 2 or 3 corners that should be on the practice squad instead.
I,
That we'll never even use.
I don't know if there was a certain something they were trying to do with this roster shuffle. I don't know,
I don't get it either.
but
It
Yeah.
baffles me.
I mean, I'm glad they're back, but at the same time,
Yeah.
back on the practice squad, and it's just like, but um, my thing is with oh yeah, they also DeCamerion Richardson is also listed as doubtful. They just put Malcolm Kuntz, their defensive tackle, on IR. Tyree Wilson. So they actually got a damaged D line as well. I mean, a couple of names that are questionable with one on IR. So their D line is a little damaged as well.
Well, and guys, here with Iku, I like Iku a lot, but I mean, he's our sack leader with 1 sack in 10
But he's our
games.
sack leader. I know that's not saying
But
much,
it's
but
but
he's
it's
still our
still
sack
it's
leader.
1 sack. But I know I get it. What I'm saying is this 1 sack. But here's
That's
the
a bad
thing:
look.
he can't drop back in coverage as a linebacker. And when everybody wanted to blame Horn, so I watched a lot of the detail last week on certain things. You know that wide open to Quentin Johnson in the touchdown end zone?
Uh-huh.
Guess
That
who
was
blew?
because Horn expected safety help
No,
and he
no, no,
didn't
no,
get
no,
it.
no, no. That was the linebacker not dropping back, and that was Iku.
Nah,
Iku's
nah,
no,
you're
no, no,
not gonna
no.
convince me of that
Dude,
one.
I watched
Williams
it.
dropped the
That
ball,
was
man.
that
He
was
was nowhere to be found.
no. I'm talking about the wide open play where no one covered at all. That was supposed to be a linebacker drop in the red zone.
The second
That had
touch,
nothing to
his
do.
second,
Oh, you're talking about that one.
Yeah, the second
the
touchdown
second
That
where
was
he was
touchdown.
Shaq.
wide open,
That was Shaq.
wide open. No, 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 no. That wasn't Shaq. Shaq covered his play, and
He needed
after
help.
it was supposed to be
Where was
Iku that was
Woods?
supposed to. Iku was supposed to drop back. It wasn't a safety drop. It was a linebacker drop. And
Where
it was
was
EQ to
Woods?
left that wide
It
open.
doesn't matter if EQ was supposed
Let
to
me
drop
see.
back or not.
I'm just saying,
As a safety, you have one
dude, I'm
job.
not a
That's
coach
your
there.
last.
We're
That is
not
your
coaches
last
there.
measure of defense.
We're
Where the
not
heck
coaches
was he?
there. I'm just saying that
5 feet over to the right.
that was supposed to be a linebacker drop. And plus, check this out. On two of the
Nah.
big plays that everybody was trying to give Horn on, those were on Horn blitzes as a cornerback. So there was things that people missed on that because actually Horn had a really killer first quarter, and he had really good coverage on the touchdown that was called after the false freaking bad call for the strip fumble that gave them the ball back, which was horrible and sucked the wind out of our sails.
Oh
Horn
wait,
had great coverage on that.
you're talking about the first touchdown where they missed the
I'm
extra
talking
point.
about both of them. So one of them, so the opening drive, when they came down and we got the strip fumble on their first drive, and they overturned it and gave it back to him, which was absolute garbage because the guy caught the ball,
Agreed.
made
Yeah.
2 steps,
Yeah, agreed.
and
on
turned
that
his
part.
whole body, and then gave the ball back, and they went down and scored a touchdown, missed the extra point, right?
Yeah, that was the 29.
Yeah.
That was the 29 yarder to Quentin Johnson, and they missed
Right.
the
So,
extra
and that
point.
was,
Yeah.
and actually, they actually said that was really good coverage, and if you watched it, it was good coverage. The coverage was good on that. I mean, without getting a pass interference call, it was great coverage. And then
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one. So then we ended up kicking the ball. So we had 2 plays that went against us in that game that led to 13 points. One of them was also the special teams on the punt, and no one touched the guy. But they said they blocked the view of the catch. So
Oh,
they
yeah,
gave
that
us a
garbage.
15-yard penalty.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
garbage.
Oh yeah,
That was
You're
garbage.
garbage.
yeah.
We got that ball. That should have been our ball. He dropped it. It should have been our ball at the goal line. So
Facts.
now you take 13 points off that score and maybe add 7, 10, or whatever to that, then that kind of changes things, right? We don't know if we would have scored. Who knows? But
hmm
the wide open Quentin Johnson touchdown where he was left wide open in the middle of the end zone with 0 coverage, Iku was
No
supposed to be the
coverage
one that was
at
supposed to
all.
drop back. Iku was supposed to drop back. That was red zone coverage, linebacker drop back, not safety. And that's why.
Okay, I'll blame Miku for that one.
Okay,
I'll
so you're
blame
talking.
Miku for
That was it.
So
That's
you,
fair.
But
so
then,
you're talking about the 5-yard passing touchdown where
exactly where
Okay.
no one was on him. That was
Gotcha.
That's
supposed
fair.
to be Iku's
Okay.
That's
coverage.
fair.
Okay, I know what you're
On
talking
that one,
about.
yes, that was
And
Iku.
he tried to attack the run instead of falling back like he was supposed to.
Okay.
Even
Yep.
Shaq Thompson,
That's correct on
and
that
no
one.
one threw him under the bus, but even the announcers and
I did.
analysts said Iku was supposed to be the one that was supposed to drop back on that coverage
Yeah.
on that play. And
I saw him
the
pushing.
guy was wide open. There was no one even there, and he was wide open. And
Yeah.
that was the one that got Iku cut right there. But then we
Ooh.
got him back. So maybe that's an eye opener because I like Iku. But also at the same time, we got to think the guy has been a backup practice squad guy in 10 games with the Panthers as a starter. He has 8 tackles and 1 interception.
Mhm.
That's not very good stats.
Mhm.
8 tackles in 10 games. I mean, you're averaging less than a tackle a game. But I like the guy. But I see where they were coming from. But that play right there got him cut. But there's a reason that nobody in the league claimed anyone off waivers that we cut last week. Jordan Matthews, no one claimed him off waivers. He's back on the team. Iku, no one claimed off waivers. He's back on the team. 32 teams overlooked Jordan Matthews and Iku, and we got him back. So there's something to be said about that, right? If 32 teams, because I'll tell you who would have taken both of them, would have been the damn Kansas City Chiefs because it seems like they take everybody.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
aren't kidding.
You know,
By the way,
right?
they just got what's his name back? The running back.
Oh yeah, they got back Kareem Hunt, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they got Cream Hunt
Put him on
back.
the
Yeah,
practice squad.
Yep,
They're
they
not
sure
going to sign
Put
him
did.
him
to
on practice
53
squad.
though.
But he is also 30 years old, 32
Yeah.
years old,
He's staying on the
and
squad.
but he is back on the squad, and they're going to probably elevate him before Sunday night's game
Mm-hmm.
because he knows Andy Reid's deal and how he rolls, and
Right.
plus he can.
They said specifically on ESPN that no, they're not going to elevate him.
You
So
know,
so it'll be interesting to see how with kind of like both defensive lines hurting a little bit. Of course, I know when it comes to offense, Raiders I know run game is
Yeah.
but of course,
Samir White.
Zamir White, Brock Bowers, Devontae Adams. I mean the pass.
Devontae
Amir
Adams.
Abdullah.
Yeah,
Amir Abdullah is a name that people should be familiar with.
yeah, we used to have him.
Yep.
Speedy dude.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest though, I don't know how y'all feel about the Raiders defense, but I mean,
Not good.
aside
It's
from
been stagnant and not good.
aside from
Right, they're
We
not
can
good.
take advantage of it.
Even their own guy said they can't stop the run. So I'm looking at Chuba this week to
Me
be
too.
able to establish the run this week. Chuba's going to have a killer week this week.
Yep.
I
He's
mean,
gonna
Anybody
allow
that's
Andy
got to be
Dalton.
fantasy, throw him in.
That's right.
aside from Max Crosby, I mean, and I guess maybe John Jenkins, I mean, I don't really see anybody on their secondary that's a threat.
No,
Me
no,
neither.
because their defense is actually so. Like I said, when I was
Hops,
listening
maybe.
to CBS today, that guy was even like that covers them was like we are abysmal against the run, and we are mediocre on the pass, and they do not cover tight ends well at all. And so I think this week is going to be the week that Andy Dalton's going to come in. And I think this is a perfect week, and I think they evaluated this before they made that move.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
is we're going to have Andy Dalton in that can step into the. I mean, the guy even said, he goes, dude, we've never won against Andy Dalton. Our defense is terrible against the run. I think Chuba and Miles together are going to have a great game this week. I think that they're like ranked 25th against the tight end. I think Sanders, and I think this is why they made the move with the Jordan Matthews. I think Sanders is going to come in and be in more of a. We're going to run a lot of slot and a lot of tight end and run the ball. We're going to do it the Andy Dalton way. And if I go back in memory, he throws deep when he needs to, but you're going to see a lot more of. He spreads the ball.
Now,
Dalton
They're going
loves
to
to spread the
tailor it
ball.
towards Andy.
so now, here's the thing to keep in mind, y'all. On a total of 68 pass blocking snaps, Corbett, Hunt, and Lewis have only allowed 4 pressures, no sacks, and 2 pressures on quick throws. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, full respect to those three.
So
That's why.
They are
That's
getting
why
it
we
done.
so if
are
you
we are we. That's why we have to blame. And when I say blame, I use it loosely because I feel bad for the kid. It's where we got to blame Bryce because the pressures and everything on the pass side has been pretty good for Bryce.
All right.
so that means we're gonna have to really we pretty much gotta trust that Andy Dalton can deliver in a clean pocket consistently. Not only that, he's been working with the ones all week. And they've been kind of also talking a little bit more specifically on the Thielen Dalton kind of veteran presence relationship.
I don't know how I feel about
Slot. Thielen's going to move straight to the slot, and they're going to rotate him with Deontay Johnson because they're two different slot type receivers. You got one that is a white boy slot receiver, which we know is slow with good hands, right?
Yeah.
And now you got Deontay Johnson that plays more of the Keyshawn Johnson type slot receiver
And
that has.
don't sleep on Leggett. He didn't get targeted
Dude,
at
Yeah.
all. He's gonna get
no.
he's gonna get targeted
That's
this
correct.
game.
And he was not happy after not being targeted last week. He was vocal about it,
Mhm.
and he even said it. He came out and said, I was not targeted one time in that game. And there was 3 or 4 times. That one interception that he tried to force to Thielen, Leggett was wide open on a curl route on the side.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And he tried to force it to Thielen. And
That's a fact.
Dalton's not going to force it to anybody. We're going to see Jake Delhomme play this week.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We're going to
And
see Jake Delhomme play because Jake Delhomme. That's why him and Steve Smith getting along so good. Is
Mhm.
because Jake Delhomme called Steve Smith out when Steve Smith called him out and said, "You didn't throw me the ball." He goes, "You're in double coverage. I'm not throwing you the ball. Get open, wide open, and I'll throw you the ball." How's that? I
yeah.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
Now, here's something to keep in mind since Chad you mentioned the run game.
uh-huh.
Last week, Chuba Hubbard averaged 6.4 yards per rush last week.
Absolutely. You're right. Yes,
Now,
sir.
now he's going to have even more opportunity and maybe throw in some Miles Sanders in there. The
That's
Raiders
right.
have given up an average of 163.5 rushing
You
yards
damn
per
right. That's
game,
what I was saying earlier.
which
That's
is
right.
which
You're
is
right.
which is around 6.1 yards per attempt and 10 total rushing first downs.
That's right.
Oof.
So,
Chuba Hubbard's going to slay it this week like he slayed it last year when second half of the year. I'm telling you, Chuba Hubbard is going to have a game this week,
Yeah,
and
yes.
cuz
he's
you
going to have a game.
cuz you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
cuz
I
you
mean,
got to cuz you got to also remember Chuba came so close to hitting 1,000 yards rushing.
He did. And
Mhm.
Chuba is the man. And Chuba, we've always played behind this year. So keep that in mind. We've never established a run game because we played from behind. We're not. We're going to start the game this week. We're going to start the game with the run game, like what Canales wants to do. We haven't been allowed to do it yet, so it's going to be interesting to see this week. And Canales is super high on Chuba, and he's super high on Miles Sanders.
Now,
And
yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Now we
and
also
and they're two different style backs. And
Mhm.
Miles already knows that Chuba's the starter. And Chuba and Miles has a chip on his shoulder because last year, I'm gonna tell you, we can blame we can blame Miles Sanders for looking like shit last year, but I'm gonna tell you, no one wanted to blame Bryce for it, but we can blame Miles for it. Miles had the same offense that that Bryce Young had, and it did not fit his forte, and he was not used properly.
mhm.
I mean, you catch Miles Sanders on a short yard out. The one thing about Chuba is Chuba can't catch. He's not a catching.
I got to disagree on that
I'm gonna
too.
have to disagree.
Well,
At
Yeah.
first,
he's he,
at
he's
at
not he's not
Dude can
known for
catch,
it.
man.
Okay,
at
he's
first,
not he's not known for it, and
I,
he's not a blocker.
Hold on,
I,
Chad.
I'll give you his first year. I'll give you his first year. But
I'm
Same.
talking about even with Philly. You talking about Chuba here? Yeah, he was terrible his first year. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
but afterwards he
He
did
fixed
improve.
that.
He did fix that. He did
he
fix that.
did. He fixed it a little bit. Yeah, he had to. But I'm also saying what I'm saying too is don't sleep on Miles. Last year, I'm not going to compare Miles Sanders to his Philly years to last year
I see what you're saying. I see what
because
you're saying. Okay.
yeah,
Fair point.
Miles
Fair point.
Miles
Okay. Okay.
Miles was screwed just like Bryce and everybody else on that team. The only player on that offense last year that was worth a damn was Adam Thielen.
Yep.
Bottom line,
I mean
Yep.
that's the only
Yep.
one.
he got his 1,000 yards receiving.
And that's
Yep.
because he was catching balls and doing yards after catch.
Mhm.
And the yards after catch, that YAC is what made him where he was. Miles
Facts.
this year, Miles this year, and everybody, we all hated him. We all hated Miles Sanders last year. It wasn't Miles Sanders' fault, just like it wasn't Bryce's fault. It was like, I mean, nobody knows what they're coming into work to every
I
day.
defended Miles. So.
And I think this year, now watch tomorrow. I think you're going to see a great game from Chuba. I think you're going to see a solid game from Miles. And I think you're going to see Deontay
Mhm.
Johnson. You're going to see the ball getting spread around to everybody. Leggett. You're going to see
Mhm.
Deontay. You're going to see Thielen. Everybody's going to go out there and they're going to be playing harder than we've seen this team play in a
Yeah.
while.
I'm hoping to
And
Mhm.
I'm hoping to see the same from Mingo if he can, get rid of the fumbleitis.
dude,
Yeah.
I love Mingo, man. I love Mingo. I'm high on Mingo. I've always
Steve
been high on
himself
Mingo,
worked with him.
He
but he's been, yeah, Steve Smith worked one on one with him.
Mhm.
I'm high on Mingo. The reason, and you got to think Mingo too. Mingo was a rookie last year that went through two head coaches. Everybody's kind of been screwed. And
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
we don't even know what we
Mhm.
have here. We have a ton of talent, and we still don't know who's who from one thing or another because we haven't been there's no true evaluation of anything. We've got Frank
Facts.
Reich's evaluation. We got a special teams coach, and then we got a new whole regime with no preseason. And it's like, dude, come on, man.
We've been
You got to
cycling
see something.
around. Like
Yeah.
That's
there's
right.
just no
The
way.
the lack of
There's
stability.
no, there's no continuity. There's
Yeah.
zero continuity. So once you see this, because I will say this, go back and look at the stats last year at the Seattle game when Andy Dalton started, and look at the stats from Miles Sanders, look at the stats from Chuba Hubbard, look at the stats from Andy Dalton, look at the stats from Mingo, and look at the guys that were on the team last year and see what we're walking into tomorrow. because the quarterback doesn't throw for 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for a reason, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, it is what, and this is a better team than last year. I mean,
Yeah.
Terrence Marshall Jr. was a starter. I mean, Amingo was a starter, and Thielen was a starter. We didn't, and Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard, but we still didn't have a tight end. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a whole different game tomorrow. I don't like it's at 4 o'clock, but I don't know why I don't like it's at 4 o'clock. Like it's some big discrepancy. I just don't like it's at 4 o'clock because I don't want to watch 4 o'clock game.
Yeah.
We
Um.
haven't earned a 1 o'clock yet.
So my only concern, and this may be a major or minor one, just depending on how you look at it. Going back to Max Crosby, because we got to remember this is somebody that was coming off a 14 and a half sack season. Um, this
Mm-hmm.
is a player that the Raiders will line up anywhere on that line.
That's right.
So
And
Yep.
where are they going to line him up, though? Are they going to line him up on against Icky, or are they going to line him up against Moton? Because
Probably Moton, because he's the weaker
and
of
you
the
know,
two.
I would actually rather them line him up on Moton because I have zero faith in Icky.
Mm,
I have
I
zero
have
faith in
zero
Icky.
faith in Taylor. I
I
I
have a
have a
little. I
little
have a
bit of
little bit.
faith in Icky,
I have a
but
little bit of. See, I'm opposite. I have a little bit of faith in Moton because the last week he changed the dynamic from week one. Icky, I mean, I don't even know what to expect from this guy. Does this guy even want to play football? I know Moton does. He gets beat, and I get it, but I sometimes it's like when I listen to Icky talk, he's got all the faith in the world, and it's like listening to I don't know, man. I don't even know if the guy even really like Icky just is like is he lazy? I just don't even know what he wants to do anymore. It's like, do you even want to play football?
I
I mean,
mean,
all right. Well,
I guess there's always that chance they could move him to guard. He did play some of that in college, but
I think it probably would be a
my
better
whole
aspect, but
thing,
we got to have someone play that in. So I mean, it's
my
like we
my
don't
whole
have
thing with
anybody.
Icky, and we all made a big deal out of his fight with Clowney. Okay, now go out there and block. You just showed you
Right.
had the guts to push around one of the top pass rushers out there. You know, after a play was over, now go out there and block.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it showed me that he has the attitude to play the position, to go out there, refine your technique, refine your footwork, refine your hands, and block.
And we seriously need to get
And he
we need to
did.
get and Clowney's got to step it up too. I know he's more of a pass rusher, but I mean
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He's been abysmal this year across the board.
yeah, I
He
agree.
he, he hasn't done shit
Yeah,
but collect a paycheck, and he has been completely abysmal. Our whole defense,
And
which really blew me away under Avero,
and
with
that's
what we did bring in. I mean, I know we don't have Wanham there, and that's missing a key piece. I don't care about the Burns thing. We don't need to talk about Burns. Burns ain't doing shit where he's at right now.
and that's the
He
thing.
hasn't done a
yeah,
damn thing.
yeah.
That's the thing.
It's early though.
Jadavion Clowney's coming off of a 9.5 sack season, a healthy
That's right.
season. So it
So
is,
And he looks
why is
lethargic,
this
man.
not translating?
I
yeah,
don't
We hear
know.
all this hype about, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, this,
cause
that, and the third during practices. Why is this
yeah,
not translating?
cause Corey, you remember I was super hyped when they announced
Me
that he
too.
he was signed.
Me
Like
too.
I was just like, yes, cause I
I
Yeah,
was
was
all in
dude.
favor.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
coming off a 10 sack season almost. I mean, it's like, yeah, dude, this was
We
awesome.
finally
We
got a
actually
legit
got
pass rusher now.
yeah,
You
that's
know?
right.
and
And it's just not even that, man. I mean, DJ Johnson's doing better and he is on the opposite. I
ouch.
mean, it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, he is. He's
Yeah,
actually statistically PFF
Mm-hmm.
doing better.
Yeah.
than Clowney is. And
And
it's
it
like,
passes the eye
dude,
test too.
he does pass the eye test, and that's key. And he's younger too. And
Mhm.
this is a guy that's hungry, that's playing because he wants to play. And Clowney's a veteran. And come on, man, you're playing for your hometown, bro.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, you're basically playing in your backyard. Do something, do better, man. And he
Yeah.
looks lazy out there. And
S-
we've seen laziness out of Clowney
Players,
in
if
the
you're tired of
past.
hearing about this, do something about it.
Yeah, like Jadavion, I mean, we're talking about an 11-year
You know you
veteran.
got the talent, do something about it.
Yeah, we're talking about
Well, we've
an 11-year veteran, so
Shut these
Yep,
people up.
that's right. And we've seen him play lazy in the past.
yeah.
His second year, he came out and had a great rookie season. Second year, he looked a little lazy. Third year, he looked great on that rookie contract extension he wanted. And then fourth year, he looked a little lazy. And then
Hmm.
fifth and sixth, he looked pretty decent. Seventh year, looked lazy. And then
Yep.
it's like, dude, come on, man.
Yep.
Do something. Do better,
Yep.
bro. You know, I mean, he has these
Yep.
off and on seasons. We don't need that off and on season here. We are
Do
trying to,
something.
I mean, we're sitting here treading water, bro. You're supposed to be the one that comes in that is going to make us better. And right now, he hasn't made us any better. Our defense is absolutely horrible. I mean, dude, we could a high school team could run for 100 yards against us.
Yeah.
We cannot stop the run at all.
We're
I mean,
acting
we
like this is a
cannot
new
stop the run.
problem. It's not. We've had this problem for 5, 6 years now.
I mean, I can't
Before
believe that we
this.
can't stop a running game at all. I mean, even on our worst years,
This
at
is not
least we
new.
could. But I mean, at least we could rely on our defense to some extent. It was always, offensive problems and this, that, or the other, and they get wore down and beat down by the third quarter. Dude, we're getting killed in the first quarter on defense. I mean, absolutely annihilated. Look at the first quarter stats that the defense has given up. We can't blame the offense on that. Dude, it's
Completely
the first
undisciplined.
quarter. I mean, we've given up
Improper
what?
tackling angles.
40, almost 40
Technique is
points in,
garbage.
yeah. I mean,
Coverage was garbage.
I think first quarter alone, we've given up almost 40
I,
points in 2 games in the first quarter.
pure
So
garbage.
so speaking of defense currently through week 2, so the Panthers are ranked 25th in total defense. Passing defense, they're ranked 10th.
Right. Passing defense has
Uh,
been good. Run
Yeah.
defense is
ru-
bad.
rush
Run defense is
ho-
pure dumpster fire.
rushing defense, they're ranked 31st.
That's right. I
They
mean,
ought to
we're
be
the second
32nd,
worst.
man.
Uh,
Second worst in the league
s-
next to
Who's
Washington.
below us? Who's below us?
Washington? It's got to be Washington
the
or
How
the
in the
Giants.
world
hold
is
on,
Washington below us, man?
the Colts.
The Colts?
Yeah, the Colts.
Oh my lord!
Wow.
Wow.
So scoring defense, were ranked dead last.
Yes. We don't turn the ball over.
That's
Uh,
correct. We don't
Shit.
force turnovers.
red zone defense, were ranked 31st.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
third
Yep.
down defense, were ranked 30th.
Yeah. Our
Yep.
defense
That
is
checks.
abysmal, bro.
That checks.
So yeah, those
I
are
mean,
our
it is. Our
defensive
defense,
rankings.
our defense is down there with our quarterback right now. And that's a problem because if our defense was
Yep.
consistent across the board, then we wouldn't be blown out. And with that being said,
We look like the
if our
Cowboys last week
if our
Now,
defense if our defense steps it up, then it
defensively.
takes less pressure off of Bryce. Hold him to a field goal. Hold him to 0 points and force a punt. Let's make it a riverboat Ron type deal, you know?
now, do y'all want
And
to hear offense?
offenses, I'll go ahead and tell you what
So,
offense is.
so,
Absolutely horrible.
so total offense ranked dead last.
Yep.
Uh,
Putrid.
Passing offense, we're actually tied at rank 30th with the Patriots,
Yeah, the Patriots are
Who's below
horrible.
us?
the Bears,
The Bears.
and
Caleb Williams is a joke, bro.
and
Hey,
and and that
broski, you in chat right now, bro?
and that's the thing, and that's the thing that I don't really get. You do you see the weapons the Bears have? They should
Just
not
saying.
they should not be at the dead bottom in passing offense.
They shouldn't, but
What y'all doing?
Caleb Williams is worse than Bryce Young right now. And they said that today. They were like, you have DJ Moore, you have this, you have this, you had all these draft picks, and you guys look like ass. They even said it. They were like, no one won that trade. No one won the trade,
I mean,
is what they said.
it's kind of it's kind
Wow.
of sad because I mean they brought over Keenan Allen. They got a big load of offensive weapons and they're dead last in passing offense.
Dead last, dude.
It's
Caleb
Chicago, man. It's Chicago.
Dude, Caleb Williams looks worse than Bryce
It-
Young.
And
Dude,
all
that's
I hear is all this
earlier,
trash talking
Jason.
from Bears fans.
That's what I
Okay,
was telling you
where
earlier,
y'all at
Jason,
right now?
was
Y'all right where we are.
yeah. I mean, they thought they were going to win this year. Caleb Williams, thank you. You guys gave us Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams looks like dude,
And
Caleb
and
Where'd y'all
Williams.
go with that?
and yet I
Where'd
got
y'all go with that? Keep the same energy.
and yet I got called a dummy by Broski Bear. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, is he in my
Yeah.
chat
Yeah.
right now? Come on.
What I tell you earlier, Jason,
Speak
every
up, broski.
rookie quarterback in the
Where you at?
NFL looks like hammered asshole. And
Oh.
and Caleb Williams is a joke. And that cocky dude with his painted fingernails and everything he does is sitting on the sideline looking like a little bitch. And his demeanor on the sideline is worse than Cam Newton when Cam used to throw the towel over his head and quit. I mean,
Hey,
he looks
I'm just
he
saying.
looks terrible. He looks terrible over there, dude. The Bears are so pissed off, and Bears fans. And I have friends that are Bears fans. They're like, dude, you gave us Caleb Williams, you gave us DJ Moore, you gave us this. Bitch, I own DJ Moore in 2 fantasy leagues. This guy's getting like 7 fantasy points a week.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
let me
Caleb Williams,
let me elaborate on this. They got
Oof.
Keenan Allen, DeAndre Carter, DJ Moore. They drafted Rome
Oh.
Undeze, and for
Yep.
tight ends they got Mercedes Lewis and Cole Kmet.
and Cole Kmet.
They have no excuse of having a
Zero.
passing
Zero
offense
excuses.
at the dead
Zero,
bottom.
dude. Caleb Williams, I'm going to tell you what Caleb Williams looks like right now. He looks like a cross between Cam Newton after the shoulder injury and Bryce Young right now.
Mm.
He
Oof.
looks that bad. That's what he looks like. I mean, I'm telling you, like right after the shoulder injury, where Cole, what I'm saying is before Cam went to New England and actually threw the ball. I'm talking about when Cam couldn't throw the ball further than 15 yards, and
Where's the
that's
lie,
what he
though?
looks like.
Where's
Yeah.
the
He
lie,
looked-
though?
Yeah,
He
and,
looks
and that's
he
the,
looks
Oh man.
and that's the thing.
absolutely horrible, and that's what I'm saying about first round draft picks
Oh.
And
as quarterbacks. Dude, I would have much rather drafted Will Levis late. I mean, Levis dropped so far back. Dude, I would have taken Levis and I would have bridged and I would have said to hell with it and kept my draft picks instead of giving up the
Mhm.
house.
Yeah.
We gave up
Mhm.
more, and now more went into a situation where he thrived with now this is another thing for the Bears. Moore thrived with Justin Fields. He thrived with Justin Fields.
He would
Mhm.
thrive
I
with
mean,
any decent quarterback, honestly.
Yeah.
He's DJ.
yeah, he actually
Let's
looked
be real.
halfway decent. Moore put up the
It's
stats.
DJ.
Yeah. I mean, when you
And
think about it with DJ Moore, really the only low stat that he's ever had is just touchdown numbers aren't as high as other premier wide receivers. But the
that's
dude
right.
is a yak master. The
That's
dude,
right.
Exactly.
Yards after catch,
I
baby.
love DJ Moore.
yeah,
Yeah, dude, DJ Moore's the man. But I mean, when DJ Moore can't even produce for you as a yak master, dude, I mean, come
You're
on, man.
screwed.
yeah,
You're totally screwed.
and
Caleb, dude, their quarterback situation, and guess what? They're stuck with it like we are Bryce right now.
Mm-hmm.
The
yeah,
only difference is Bryce is a smarter guy. He's the more processed guy that got thrown into a shit situation. He
mhm.
doesn't have an ego. Caleb Williams has a big ego.
And
And you can't, I'm going to tell you what, when a guy has a big ego and you take his ego, it's different than a guy that doesn't have an ego.
yeah,
You suck an ego out of a guy that, like Bryce is going to learn. You take the ego out of a guy like Caleb Williams, then you end up with a loose cannon Cam Newton because Cam Newton's got a big ego.
and
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 it's like,
and don't get me wrong. Bears fans, I give it to you. Y'all are 1-1. I give it to you.
Yep.
Y'all won
Yep.
that. Y'all won that first game. I mean,
yeah, but I
Ca-
mean, come
I
on, who they
mean,
beat? I
Caleb.
mean,
They beat
Yeah.
they beat the Titans.
they beat the
Um,
Titans with
Everybody can beat
quarter,
the Titans right now.
I mean, with a quarterback that can't even freaking figure out what he's doing there because
Yeah.
they got rid of half of his offensive line and arsenal.
and
I mean, you know,
realistically, the main silver lining right now for the Bears is their defense. That's really the main
Yeah.
that's
silver
it.
lining for them.
And their
Mm-hmm.
defense is not that good because they spend a lot of money on other positions like DJ Moore,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not working out. The
Right.
Bears, I mean, let's think about it. The Bears have made stupid decisions. They traded us Greg Olson for a fourth round pick. I mean, what the dumbest decision they ever made. I mean, you know,
I mean,
Oh
a,
man,
a
and
fourth round pick
that
for
was highway
Greg Olson.
robbery.
I
and
mean, he was 3 years into the league and you gave him us for a fourth round pick. It was like,
yeah,
okay,
and, and don't
yeah,
Yeah.
and don't get
Thank
me
you.
and don't get me wrong. Like, I understand Caleb Williams is a rookie and all that. I get that. But at the same time, I'm sorry. And growing up, I was a wide receiver. I never played quarterback. But I'm sorry when you have, the receivers that we mentioned and you come out of there with only 93 passing yards and a QBR of
yeah,
28.8.
Facts.
that's right.
That's not
Facts.
that's not
Dude,
normal. That's not
no,
normal.
Straight
it's terrible.
facts.
Is what, dude. And when you see him on the bench, dude, he is not a team player. He wasn't a team player when he was the rookie and he hyped himself up. Anybody that has to hype themselves up, even CJ Stroud didn't hype himself up. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep. Yep.
Levis hyped himself up, but I mean, he kind of has that personality. He's kind of crazy. He's like a cross between Jim McMahon and whatever. But Levis actually has a gun arm. And
Mm-hmm.
but Caleb, I'm gonna tell you, when you're painting your fingernails and you're sitting here bragging and you're doing all this and you ain't even made it to the pros yet, dude, and you come out here, dude, that deteriorates your personality and his ego so bad that it's
Oh.
like it's almost unwatchable. I don't even know if this guy can fix himself. He might be the next Jamarcus Russell at this point.
I'll
We
I'll
don't know.
I'll say
I mean,
this. I'll say this, and I
Oof.
know this is bold. Like I said, this is no disrespect. I'm just keeping it real. The Bears play the Colts next. On the road. It is on the road. They play the Colts next. Colts been struggling some too.
Yeah.
yeah, they have.
I'm a say this, and y'all can quote me on it, whichever. Like, it
It's
is
gonna
what
be a
it
defensive battle.
it is what it is. But
Sure.
if Caleb Williams doesn't come out of there with at least 200 to 250 passing yards, something's wrong.
I don't think. I don't
Agreed.
think.
Something's wrong.
I don't. I don't think that he's capable of throwing for more than 200 yards right now.
It,
I've
it
watched him play.
and
Yeah.
it and if that's
He-
if
Yeah.
that's the case, Chad, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at what he's thrown for this year already.
Which
I
defense is
mean,
gonna play better?
that's right. And you know, the Colts have underperformed. Their defense has underperformed, but they still have the guys on defense to perform. Um, They didn't really lose a whole lot. I don't know. Thank you. I
Right.
don't know what's going on with the Colts, but it's like if you look at them, they're still almost the same team. Other than Anthony Richardson is he's kind of I like Anthony Richardson, but at the same time, I still think that he is a poor man's Cam. And a poor man's Cam versus that injury didn't help him last year. I'm gonna tell you that. And I think he's gonna have a little bit of gun shy sophomore. Um I did not want Anthony Richardson because I did not want a prima donna quarterback here. I wanted a quarterback.
Well,
Um,
he's still kind of a project though. Project
he
slash
is,
prospect.
he is, but he's going to be in a very. The guy had a pretty bad concussion last year, and he also had, another injury last year, and so Richardson had two injuries as a rookie, and one was a pretty bad concussion to set him out for like 4 to 6 weeks, and he also had that hamstring injury. Um, I just don't. I never really was high on him. I
Hmm.
consider him. So this is why I also don't want anybody to hype up Cam Ward coming out of Miami. I don't want those players anymore. I want a pocket quarterback that can step in the pocket with some size and throw the ball. And I don't give a damn if we bring Donovan McNabb out of retirement, or if we bring Philip Rivers out of retirement, or if we go after Derek Carr, which we should have, I think, um, or what we do, or roll with the Red Rider next year. I don't care. Next year's quarterback class is going to be garbage, and you cannot. We have, and the NFL teams in general have to stop overreaching for quarterbacks so early in the draft. It has to stop. It's killing these
Yeah,
guys' future. I mean,
yeah.
even Anthony Richardson. I mean, dude, you had Philip Rivers. I mean, you could have kept even Tennessee. You could
The
have kept
longevity of
10.
these quarterbacks'
Why
careers
would
has
you have
gone downhill.
if you were going to draft Will Levis where he was drafted, right? He
Hmm.
wasn't even a first round pick. He was drafted late in the draft.
Yeah,
Late. Levis kept falling. Why would you have not kept Ryan Tannehill for one more year to bridge
Ooh.
this guy in?
yeah,
Because they're very, very similar quarterbacks. So
yep.
you had the perfect mix right there. We're trying to bridge Bryce Young, who's 5'9", with Andy Dalton, who's a pocket quarterback. But Andy Dalton wants to be a coach. He wants to be a coach. That's his next goal in life. He doesn't want to be Tom Brady. He doesn't want to he's not going to go to the Hall of Fame. He doesn't want to do this. He wants to be a quarterback coach. He wants to come up through the ranks as a
Which
coach.
player said that, Marcos? Which player said that?
And you know what else is really sad? And this might sound bold. I really, really wonder if he stayed and continued playing, if they would have went as far as AFC Championship or maybe possibly sneak his way into a Super Bowl. And I'm talking
Who's
about
that? Ryan Tannehill?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Oh, dude. Well, Andrew Luck, yeah, but Luck, Luck realized real quick. He did a Luke Kuechly, man. He was like, dude, I've had two concussions. I'm done, bro.
And it's
I am
crazy.
Yeah.
moving on.
And it's crazy
Because
because
Andrew
he
Luck, in
Tannehill
my
doesn't
opinion,
suck. He's actually halfway decent. You just have to put him in the right system.
right.
Tannehill is awesome. I like Tannehill. I think he's like the next type of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Dude, Ryan Fitzpatrick, man, out of Harvard. This guy was a floater forever. He didn't hit his prime till he was like 34 years old.
Yep.
And everybody was blown away. It didn't matter what team he went to. That guy won, and he threw the ball, and he wasn't going to lose. And he
I
still threw for 275, 300, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, one pick, whatever.
I
And
guess
he
Credit
was
the
tough as
quarterback coach
nails. And,
for working with
he
him.
was, and, the thing about Luck is I always thought that Andrew Luck, I'm glad you brought that up, Jason, because Andrew Luck was so smart behind the line.
Hmm.
He was almost if concussions and injuries didn't hurt him, he would have been a very similar quarterback to Peyton Manning because he had the smarts, the size, the audible. He could read everything,
And
and
I
this
and I
you
guess
can't
it's
teach
just
that.
and I guess it's just shocking because you remember 2018 was his last season. He finished a Pro Bowler.
Yeah,
He was named Comeback Player of the Year, and
yep,
he played all 16 games.
he did. And then he
Yeah.
got hurt again. He said, "I'm not coming back. I'm not going to do it anymore."
Like
Um,
when did he get hurt again?
he got hurt twice that year, but he came
Oh,
back
okay,
quick
Marcos.
on them.
Oh, okay, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he came back quick. One of them was a concussion, and one
Okay.
of them was a knee injury, but he came back quick on him. Like he did, he came back just to play. So I give him the Allen Iverson type deal. Like I play through anything, and I think someone woke him up and said, "Look, dude, you are you've had two major concussions. I don't even know how you cleared concussion protocol on this one." Um, and he did play, and he just said, "To hell with it, man." I mean, some of these guys just say, "To hell with it."
Well, don't
I mean,
forget concussion plus you remember he had the shoulder injury as well.
the shoulder injury, yeah, just he was like I said, Peyton Manning 2.0. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning flew to freaking Norway and had illegal projects done on his shoulder that were not even supposed to be covered under NFL, and had plasma injections before it became a thing here.
But
And Andrew Luck reminded me a lot of Peyton Manning because he could read. He could read defenses. And name one quarterback in this league right now, other than Aaron Rodgers, that we could say can read a defense. No
Hey,
player
Patrick
can. No
Mahomes.
quarterback. Patrick Mahomes can. You know why? But Patrick Mahomes can read them. But Patrick Mahomes also has a special side to him. He was going to be a number one draft pick in baseball.
oh
He's a
yeah.
shortstop.
Yeah.
He does the dink and dunks. He does the sidearm throws. He does all these weird
You
passes. He
said
does
name
all
one
this.
though.
But you're right. But he sees the field because he's a defensive player in
Nah,
baseball.
nah. Hold up. Nah, Damien.
Uh,
Damien's saying y'all can have Caleb Williams. Nah, stop. No, 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 no,
nah, nah,
no,
nah. We
no,
don't
no, no, no,
want
no,
Caleb.
no. You
We
can't.
don't want Caleb.
No, 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 no.
Keep him up in
No, we don't want
Chicago.
Caleb.
Hold up. Damien, don't. Hold up. Damien, don't make that excuse. With all the weapons y'all have, don't make that
uh,
excuse.
Hey,
Uh-uh.
tell him we'll trade. Tell him we'll
oh
trade.
wow.
Tell him we'll trade him.
Y'all want
Uh, we'll trade
Y'all
him
really want to go
Johnson.
there, huh?
We'll trade him. We'll trade him Johnson and Jack Plummer for Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, and their number one offensive
Nah, nah,
tackle.
nah,
How's
nah,
that?
nah. I like Jack. I
yeah.
like Jack. Don't do that.
But
I
my
like Jack
Jack's
too,
ball
but
placement is incredible.
hey, I like Jack too, man. I mean, his dad was a very good quarterback, in my opinion.
I'll
See,
take Jack, man.
there's a lot of quarterbacks that I was high on back in the day. Jake
They can have
Plummer.
Jake Lutz though.
Jake Plummer was a very solid quarterback. I like Jake Plummer. I'll tell you somebody else that everybody forgets about that was small, did not have a strong arm, did not have a great offensive line. He played with what he could, and his personality is very similar to just a great guy all the way around. Small, weak arm, but still made things happen. And everybody
Yep.
forgets about this guy. Chad Pennington was a really decent quarterback. He went through
Yep.
teams that had no receivers other than like Wayne Krebet. That was
None.
his number one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
well,
dude, everybody loved him. He had the Josh Allen personality where everybody loved his personality.
Yeah.
He had a weak arm. He couldn't throw the ball more than 40 yards. I mean,
well,
let's be real. I mean, the guy was structurally sound. I'll tell you somebody else, dude. I'm gonna tell you somebody else. And everybody can hate all they want to on these guys. I'm gonna tell you what. When you get sacked 10 times in one game by the Giants and you walk off the field and smoke a cigarette and say, fuck you, I don't want to play anymore. Jay Cutler was a damn good quarterback. And he would kick any of our asses in the locker room right now because he
See,
didn't care.
my issue with Jay Cutler, it's weird. It's like
He's a love-hate.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like one
Love-hate.
it's like out of nowhere in one game he'll throw for like 4 or 5 touchdowns, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's just a downward spiral in consistency, and then there'll be
It
another game,
is.
and then
Which
there'll
makes
be another
no
game.
sense.
Yeah,
But he
'Cause
also
you know he's
played for
got the
teams.
talent.
That's right. But he also played for teams. Dude, when he played against the Giants that game, and he got sacked 10 times in one game, and he got off the field, he grabbed the face mask of 2 offensive linemen with 2 different hands and threw them to the ground, walked to the sideline, propped his shit up and fired up a cigarette and said, I ain't going back in. And the coach was like, you ain't going back in? He goes, nope. I've already been sacked 10 times. I'm not going back in.
yeah.
He goes, to hell with you. I'll go buy 300 acres in Wyoming and I'll move to Wyoming. I don't need you. He said, to hell with you. And I love that. Ever since then, that's one of the best pictures ever, where he props the helmet on the back of his head and fires up a cigarette. And beforehand, he grabbed 2 face masks of 2 of his offensive linemen and threw them to the ground and walked off and lit up a cigarette on the sideline. I was
Yeah.
like, that guy right there, yes, that's who I want in my corner. And then he retired. He married a model, and he bought 350 acres in Wyoming and said, the hell with football. I don't need it anymore. And because, I mean, the guy got screwed in Denver. He got screwed in Chicago. Remember, they traded him for Kyle Orton
Yep.
straight up. And it was like, and he said, the hell with y'all. He said, I don't need this shit. I've made my money. I'm done. I'm moving to Wyoming. I'm going to hunt. I'm going to hunt elk.
I
I'm
respect
going
it.
to smoke cigarettes. And the
I
hell with y'all.
respect it.
So a quick thing. Damien says Tannehill sucks.
Tannehill does not suck.
I'll say
Disagree.
he kind of
He
struggled
does not suck.
he kind of struggled at first with Miami, but as soon as he came to Tennessee, he not only became a Pro Bowler, he not only became comeback player of the year, he also
went to the AFC Championship game.
went to the
Yep.
AFC Championship game, and
Yep.
he led the league in passer rater leader. So you might
That's
want to
right. Exactly.
you might want to rethink that, Damien.
Yep. He was a late
Credit to the
bloomer,
quarterback
and
coach for turning him around.
he was the only one out of that year's draft that actually succeeded at some point, because that year
That's
was
a
when
fact.
that was the year that all these quarterbacks came in and no one did shit. And Tannehill fought through it and ended up, he's a poor man's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I can
he
give you
ended up
that.
when he got to Tennessee, Ryan Fitzpatrick took his place in Miami. Remember that? He went to Tennessee and they both thrived. And
Let's see. Damien says, would y'all draft Archie Manning? Dude, that's like way.
that guy hasn't even
Get
played.
out of here with that.
He hasn't
Yeah.
started one game in college football
Get
yet.
out of here with
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
he
I
also
don't want to draft another quarterback. I want veterans. Give me.
I'm a little burnt out on Heisman winners too.
Damien, you're
I'm burned
The
out on
Heisman winners
winners.
haven't been doing anything.
hold up. Damien, you keep saying he had weapons in Miami. Dude, did I or did I not just mention that he struggled some in Miami, but as soon as he went to Tennessee,
with no weapons,
Tennessee, he became comeback player of the year, led in passer rating, and got a Pro Bowl. Damien,
that's right. And
that was 2019, bro.
And name his wide receivers at Tennessee. Name his starting number 1 wide receiver at Tennessee.
He also says Caleb Williams cares more about the colors his fingernails than what he does on the. Y'all drafted him number 1.
Y'all drafted him.
Y'all drafted him. Nah, Damien. Nah, don't make
Y'all took our number 1 pick and drafted him.
Nah, don't make excuses when y'all have the.
Come out here with that garbage, man.
See. Here's the thing. You say Tannehill had weapons. Does Caleb Williams not have weapons?
Caleb Williams Caleb Williams has more weapons than any quarterbacks ever had in Chicago in the last 10 years.
That's a fact.
Like that
I
dude,
mean, seriously,
that dude's got
let's be
He's
real.
got no excuse.
that dude's got Pro
He has
Bowlers
no
on his
no
team.
excuse at all.
That
That
dude's
dude's got wide receivers. He's got running backs.
Yup.
He's got everything
Yup.
there.
he's got Pro
Yup.
Bowlers on his team.
Yep.
Like, come
He's
on now.
inaccurate. Yeah. And Tannehill, like I said, you take Tannehill when he went to Tennessee. Name his weapons. Name his weapons. What was his starting wide receiver? He had Woods for 1 year. I
Let's
mean,
see,
come on.
Ryan
That was his
Tannehill.
number one. He had Robert Woods for 1 year was a starting fucking wide
Oh
receiver,
my
number
God.
one wide receiver. I mean, he didn't have anybody there. I mean, let's be real. That dude made shit happen because he spread the ball around. He spread the ball around to whoever was open. You're open, cool. You get the ball. You get the ball. You get the ball. He had a bunch of number 2, number 3 wide receivers.
It was like Oprah giving away cars, man. It was like you get the ball, you get the ball, you get the ball.
That's right. He had maybe what? Yeah, exactly. He had a running game. That was it.
Let's
I mean,
see.
He had a
Oh,
decent running game.
Let's
I mean,
see.
he had a
you
bunch
never
of
wanted Caleb in the first place. All right.
dude. Caleb Williams, man. Yeah, I can't deal with Caleb Williams. Is he painting his fingernails orange now because he needs to? He's with the Bears, so it's got to either be blue or orange.
So
I
they
mean-
had so Tannehill in 2014 had Jarvis Landry, Mike Wallace, Brian Hartline.
Right. I mean, everybody was on down into their career. Mike Wallace had already been freaking cut. Mike Wallace got cut by the Dolphins.
2015 Kenny Stills, Jarvis Landry, Richard Matthews.
Jarvis Landry.
Jor-
I mean, yeah, let's be real. We're talking about guys that are number 2, number 3 receivers.
I mean,
Jarvis Landry had 1 year with the Browns where he might have been a borderline 1. I mean, these guys are number 2, number 3 receivers. He didn't have shit. He had a strong running game.
So Damien, okay, I'll give you that. You never wanted Caleb in the first place, but my point is with the
We gave you all those draft picks for Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
We gave
exactly.
we gave you DJ Moore, and we gave you all the draft picks, and you drafted Caleb
Exactly.
Williams.
and y'all got Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet,
That's right.
Mercedes Lewis. Bro, y'all
Yeah.
got
Look
all
at
these
all this talent you guys picked up. You
Yeah.
couldn't do anything with it.
like
Cole
Like-
Kmet last year without Caleb Williams was
Dude,
a
we
top
wish
10
we had half
tight
that
end.
talent on this team right now.
I'd love to have Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet is a
I
baller.
want
He
Keenan
can block.
Allen.
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, they brought in DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet was actually really good before Caleb Williams came into that locker room. Cole Kmet last year was a top 10 tight end. Now this year, the guy's got I own him in one of my
man.
fantasy leagues. Actually, Corey, I think I own him in ours. The dude gets one catch for
Yeah.
5 yards. It's like,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
come
you
on,
do.
man.
y'all
Yeah.
y'all have no excuses. I'm not saying y'all should have the number one offense, but y'all should not have a struggling offense. I'm sorry.
That's a
Like-
fact.
They
Yeah.
bragged so much about the Panthers giving them their future, and look where they're at.
Where's Broski
They-
at?
I'm just saying, like,
Broski, get
they
in here,
look-
man.
I'm just
They
saying.
look just like the Panthers right now, and they got all that in return. They got everything they wanted to move up to the number 1 and get Caleb Williams. They got DJ Moore. They got all this shit, and it's like, dude, you guys are a joke. Every time your running back does good, David Singletary, you trade him, and then Singletary goes somewhere else to the Giants, and now Singletary's like a top 10 running back. It's like you're morons. The Bears are morons. I mean, they're morons. They waste so
mean-
much.
I'd love to talk trash, but we're not that much better.
Well, we're
To
not,
be honest.
but you know what? I can say that they had a whole lot more going into this draft than we did because we traded everything away to the Bears and they couldn't make this work. And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Caleb Williams is going to be the man." Caleb Williams is a joke.
He's
telling
a clown. Yep,
he's a clown. He's Jamarcus Russell 2.0.
Like I said, if he doesn't go into this Colts game with at least between 200 and 250 passing yards, something's greatly wrong.
And on top of that is you traded away the quarterback that you made the draft picks for to get Justin Fields, and you traded him away. And he's a much better quarterback. I would take Justin Fields over Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, Caleb Williams, and half of the I would take him over Derek Carr right now if they gave him to me. I would take Justin Fields right now. You got rid of Justin Fields and DJ Moore and Cole Kmet at least they had a love for each other. They hit each other. I could not understand why they gave up on Justin Fields after 1 year. That was stupid. And now you just went in there and drafted Caleb Williams. Dude, you had a quarterback there. Give him a year, man. I would take Justin Fields right now. I'll trade Bryce Young for Justin Fields to the Denver Broncos tomorrow. If I was a GM, I would make that trade tomorrow.
Oh, interesting. Damian says, "What do you expect a rookie quarterback to do with weapons when none of them can stay open? O-Man's O-line is dog crap." I mean,
well,
look at. I mean, look at. Y'all got even better weapons on paper than what the Texans have.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. Well, yeah, the Texans, man.
Come on, man.
I mean, Damian, like
you
trying
to tell me half those weapons can't get open? Man, come on.
DJ Moore can get open. DJ Moore.
Yeah.
You got
DJ's always open.
That's right.
He's always talking about he can't get open.
DJ Moore is like a cross between Smitty and Moose Muhammad. I mean,
we literally watched him get open on about 75% of his routes when he was in Carolina.
Yeah, with no offensive line, with no anything.
Right, with no help whatsoever.
Yeah, and
Don't
Justin
tell me there's a separation issue.
And
Sorry, I'm not buying it.
Justin Fields didn't have a problem finding DJ Moore because DJ Moore still put over 1,000 yards with Justin Fields. Now this year, DJ Moore is going to be lucky to get 600 yards because Caleb Williams can't throw the ball.
Yeah, Damian, that's cap, bro. Come on, bro.
This dude needs to do his research, man. I mean, seriously, that is.
My whole thing is when you have that many weapons, not to mention look at the running game. Khalil Herbert, DeAndre Swift, who came off of 1,000-yard rushing season.
Dude, Swift, yeah. You got rid of Singletary. You got rid of Singletary to bring in Swift, and it's like
y'all got a bunch of weapons.
Y'all didn't do anything with them.
But what does that say though, Damian? Like, as many weapons as y'all have, and we're not talking about just premier weapons. Y'all got folks on there that
solid hands guys.
Yeah.
You got guys that are solid, man. I mean, Swift.
Look, man.
You got Kmet. You got freaking DJ Moore. You got two other receivers. Hell, you drafted a damn really good receiver this year, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like.
And you're trying to tell me none of these guys can get separation.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I'll trade my offense for that off. I'll trade my offense for that offense, but you got to keep Caleb Williams.
Not to mention, Rome Odunze was a beast in Washington.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Rome. I mean, they brought Rome in. I mean, it's like, dude, you've got guys that are here that are crazy good, man. I mean, the Bears.
Wish we had half that talent.
And how many draft picks did they have in this draft? I mean, dude, they went in with like the most in the NFL this year. And you still couldn't do anything. Couldn't. Because like
I said, I give it to y'all. Y'all are 1-1. Y'all have the better record than us. But it's like when it comes
one win.
When it comes
2 games,
if anybody is a bust, it's Caleb Williams.
My whole thing is with the way that y'all have recruited and drafted and got y'all's offense the way it is, y'all really don't have any excuses. I'm sorry. Like
None.
there really should be no excuse.
The
None.
the problem there is and it's a different situation than what we have with Bryce. Bryce is a process guy. He's analytical. He's small. I get
Mhm.
all the downfalls. I still like Bryce. I've never liked Caleb Williams. I was like, are you
Me
serious?
neither.
Caleb Williams is a prima donna joke. You want to draft Terrell Owens as your quarterback or a Chad Johnson as your quarterback? This guy's a problem. This guy is like one bar fight away from being banned from the NFL. I mean,
Ooh.
he's egotistical, he's cocky, he's arrogant, and you know what? Humbling doesn't work for him. Humbling works for smart people. Humbling works for smart people like Bryce Young. Bryce Young's smart. He will get humbled and he'll learn from the sidelines being benched. Caleb Williams is one of those dudes. He don't give a shit. He's all about how many cars he owns, his mansions, and how big he's going to be. And guess what, dude? You're failing big time. You're Jamarcus
Yup.
Russell. Bottom line,
Yup.
you're Jamarcus Russell. You're Ryan Leaf.
And that's the thing,
Bryce,
I
Bryce Young's
Get
not
on him,
that.
Chad. There you
Bryce
go.
Young, Bryce Young's gonna be one of those guys where in 2 or 3 years, whether he's here or somewhere else, Bryce is gonna succeed because he's smart. He
That's a
comes from a
fact.
great family and he's got a head. Caleb
because
Williams does not. He was fed a bunch of bullshit saying he was the best in the world and he's egotistical and you don't win like that. You can't be a winner when you're that guy. And
and
Caleb Williams is that guy.
and
Bottom line.
and see Corey, you were there when we were looking over that roster. We were like, oh shoot, Chicago, they should be cooking this year on offense. Look at
Yup.
they just
Yup.
got Keenan Allen, and they're just like,
Yup.
oh shoot,
Yeah, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore,
like
John,
what's
Even
if
I thought something was going to be cooking there, man.
and I praise the organization because it's
Yeah.
like they drafted another number
I
one
gave that GM some
quarterback.
love.
And it's
Yeah.
like, oh shoot, they're doing what we should have done. They're surrounding
Right.
they're surrounding Caleb with all these weapons. I mean,
that's right.
they
Yup.
extended
Everything he
DJ
could possibly
Moore,
need.
and it's just like, oh shoot, got running back
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift. I'm like,
Yup.
oh shoot, they should
Mhm.
Yeah, dude. I
they
mean,
should be
Swift
cooking.
last year, dude. Swift was a top 10 running back. I mean,
Yeah,
on a
Yup.
team
Mhm.
on a team where he was a split back. He was a
Mhm.
split back last
Mhm.
year. And he was sharing carries with another back and was still a top 10 running back. And it's like, hell, you probably
nope.
should have kept David Singletary. You probably shouldn't have made all these
Wow.
trades. You brought all these trades in.
Oh, okay. So that's your excuse, Damien. That's your excuse. They don't have the offensive line.
Nah,
Bro,
I don't want to hear it.
bro,
Nah, I don't
no,
want to hear that.
no,
Mm-mm.
no,
Nope.
no. Y'all invested millions of dollars into that offensive line.
That's right. They did.
Don't even try that. That's
How
cap.
about asking this? Why did you get rid of Justin Fields and go all in on a Caleb Williams? Maybe you would have been better off right now. Justin
Perhaps.
Fields is a way better
Perhaps.
quarterback. I'm gonna tell you, Justin Fields is looking good on a really shitty, maybe a worse offense than we have. On paper, Denver Broncos the worst in the league on offense. They're terrible. That team is terrible. They don't have a running game. They don't have
Straight
wide
dog
receivers.
water.
I mean, Cortland Sutton's your number one. I like Cortland Sutton. That's your number one. You got rid of Jared Judy, morons. I mean, and Fields is still
Also,
and Fields is still beating Russell Wilson out for the number one spot at quarterback there.
not
You're beating a $240 million quarterback out at
I
Justin Fields.
I got one for you. I got one for you, Damien. I got one for you. Okay, your offensive line. I got one question for you. Explain to me how PFF going into the beginning of this season, Chicago Bears offensive line was ranked
Justin
11th.
Fields is on the Steelers.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
but
sorry, dude.
going into 2024 this season, how is it that the Chicago Bears offensive line was ranked 11th by the PFF? Explain that.
That's right. And actually, to be fair, what you just said, Corey, that even
I'm gonna
makes it
keep my mouth shut
worse
on this
because
one.
he's with the Steelers that has Pickens and has Najee Harris and has everything, and he's still beating out Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. I forgot he wasn't. Neither one of them were at Denver. That was my bad.
'Cause-
I mean, he's
Well,
actually
yeah.
he's in a situation on a rebuild there, dude. I just don't even get it. I mean,
yeah.
the Bears
Pittsburgh ain't
just
it
give up.
either.
It's like watching the Boston Red Sox buy a World Series and then the next year be like, oh, we sucked for like 5 years.
Man, flip that around. It's the
Yeah,
Yankees, bro.
but
But still, same point.
Damien, you're making excuses. You're making excuses. Come on now.
I, I
Come
can.
on now.
I'm gonna have to push back on this one a little bit too. But the thing is, like, it's got to pass the eye test. If it doesn't pass the eye test, and the eye test doesn't match up with the PFF, okay, I can sort of buy your argument there. But that that's a poor man's excuse with you when you got all those weapons around you, though. All right. See, we can kind of use that excuse a little bit here in Carolina. You guys can't.
Yeah, because
You
we
got all
gave them
those
15.
weapons, all that
We gave
stuff
them
in
all the
Chicago.
draft picks. Yeah.
There's no reason why you should be using that excuse in Chicago.
I mean, we gave them the house on draft picks. We gave them DJ Moore. We gave them everything. We personally handed them a team this year, and they
Yeah.
did nothing
And,
with
and
it.
and
I
that's
mean,
and that's the point that we're making, Damien. It's like y'all
I'm not
y'all
just
have
throwing
been
out the ranking system, you know.
y'all been given the keys to the kingdom. Like
yeah,
that's the point we're making.
courtesy of the Carolina Panthers. I mean,
I'm not tossing out the ranking system at all. You know, what I'm saying is like sometimes it just doesn't match the eye test.
yeah,
I'm just saying, like there really shouldn't be hardly any excuses. I mean, if it just comes down to how they
the
drafted,
Bears,
that's on them. But
the Bears,
we done
the
got
Bears have the Bears have no one to blame but their general manager right now.
yeah.
And I mean, that's it. And I mean, that's the way it is. And to the point where I heard today on CBS radio that the head coach is going to get fired before the end of October if something doesn't change because they built that team around. So are they blaming the coach? They're blaming the quarterback, or everybody's going to have the name, the blame
It's a
game.
blaming
Yeah.
carousel.
And
It's a blame carousel.
and you know what,
But
Dame?
it's gonna if the coach goes, the GM's gonna go too because you had all of this handed to you,
Yeah.
and you got DJ Moore as a
Yeah.
number one wide receiver who can't even catch more than 2 passes. I mean,
And
Caleb Williams, do better, bro.
and
Quit
and,
painting your
and don't and
quit
don't
painting your toenails.
and don't get me wrong, Damien. Like one thing I will give to you, Damien, is you debate in good faith.
That's true.
I know you're not one of those type of Chicago Bears fans. I give you that. I give you all that credit. But at the same time, Damien, you got to also understand we've had a barrage of Bear fans that have like crapped on this team.
Yep.
But when
Including Broski.
but when the time comes and they're in, they got the weapons, they got more of a setup than us, and they're not doing anything with it. What's up? What's up? That's all I'm
Dude,
saying. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
I've got multiple friends that are Bears fans that were like thanking me as a Panthers fan. They're like, "Thank you for making us the next big thing. You guys
Right.
gave us
Thank you
everything.
for this.
You
Thank you
gave
for
us
all of
this. You
that.
gave
You
us that.
know.
You gave us that. And now that it's not working out for you, then who really
Right.
looks stupid here? Is it the Panthers that
Right.
look stupid? The fucking, or is it the Chicago Bears that look stupid? Because right now it's looking like the Bears look stupid, right?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's just, we've had
Yeah.
we've had swarms of Bears fans like come at uh Panther fans, and it's just
Oh,
like,
Yeah,
they
it's
clowned us for the
ridiculous,
last,
I'm
man.
that
yeah, for the last year.
but
We got
I know you're
last.
not one of those. I know you're not one of those, Damien. You're cool. I know you're
One
not
of
one
them
of
was in
those.
my
You're
chat
not one of
tonight.
those.
Broski was in my chat tonight. He said it's a circle the wagon game for the Panthers. Dalton will move the offense, but that defense is terrible. Worst cornerback room in the league. No pass rush. Standard defensive tackle.
Hey, let's make a trade. We'll trade you a 5th round draft pick for Cole Kmet, and we'll turn him into
No, no,
Olsen
no,
2.0.
no, no. I don't want Cole. I don't want Cole.
No call for
Don't either,
Corey.
because I think I like Sanders a lot that we have.
Y'all can keep Komet up in Chicago.
But one thing I will say about
Keep
it
that
Oh man.
keep that
is
garbage level of play up in Chicago.
every time they trade a tight end, I'll take them. It's like watching the Atlanta.
Oh
It's like
man.
watching the Atlanta Braves.
Facts.
It's like watching the
Facts.
Atlanta Braves trade a shortstop. It's like, oh, well, this sucks, and then he goes somewhere else, and he's the best shortstop in baseball.
Exactly.
So I'll take Cole Kmet if he's going to be the next Greg Olson. I'll
Right?
give you a 5th round pick
Yep.
for him. Let's go,
Yep.
baby.
Oh, there
You
you
know,
there you go. Oh
you
man,
know.
that's
Cole
too
Komet
funny.
will end up sitting on the free agent couch within a year.
But
And we'll get our tight end.
Cole Kmet. I'm high on Cole Kmet.
we gotta play the Bears anyway this year, so it'll be
I
exciting.
can't wait. I can't wait because I think honestly, right now, guys, I like I said, I'm high on Bryce. I hope this is a learning experience. I think it will be. Canales is high on them. They're evaluating. I think right now, if if Andy Dalton comes out here, which I think he's going to, we saw it last year. If Dalton comes out here and throws for 250 and 2 touchdowns every year, we got Jake Delhomme 2.0 right now.
Oh shoot.
And he did it last year against Seattle
He
when
did.
everybody, I mean, he threw for 350 and 3 touchdowns. And what did we do? We benched him after the game. And it's
Yeah.
like, because Bryce had a hamstring or a sore something. It was something small.
And not to mention he threw 58 passes that game.
He did. And also look at the running stats on that game. Chuba Hubbard ran for like 110 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we scored 38 points in that game. I mean, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, honestly, man, because I think tomorrow is going to be like, oh, wow. Now we look like Derek Carr and the Saints. Maybe, it's early in the year. We're only 2 games back. Let's go. I
So
mean,
let's
T
get
Green says 21-14 Panthers keep pounding.
I
okay.
I
think it's
like
Yeah.
the
going to be,
optimism, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
let's get some score predictions in here.
I think tomorrow, against the Raiders, honestly, I think we win. I'm going to call 28-17 Panthers tomorrow.
Oh shoot.
I feel confident.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I think the passing game's going to come alive. I think the tight end game's going to come alive. The running game's going to come alive. I think Chuba Hubbard runs for close to 100 plus a touchdown. I think that the passing game's going to have 3 touchdowns and probably 275 yards. I would say, a field goal here I would say yes, somewhere around 28-17 Panthers tomorrow.
I'm
Because
gonna.
I think
Okay, nice, nice. I'm gonna say 27-14.
okay,
I think we get 2 field goals.
and we got
I'm
Eddie
gonna
Money.
say 27-24 because our defense has been struggling.
That's fair. That's fair.
No,
It's
that's
going to
super
come down to
fair.
a field goal, and if we're smart and Derek and Andy Dalton handles his 2-minute drill wisely with our timeout usage and clock management, we should bring it down to 3-point game.
Oh
The only
shoot,
the
Damien.
only good the only good thing I see tomorrow as far as defense is, I don't see a
That's
problem. I think Horn's going to play really well against Adams tomorrow. Um,
Oh
I think
shoot, Damien says 37-10 Raiders.
yeah, that's craziness. But that's what he's going by CBS stats of
yeah,
fantasy football.
yeah.
This is a whole different regime coming in tomorrow. Um,
I,
I don't
I
think that the Raiders are going to be able to run all over us like everybody else has because they don't have the running game to do it.
I will say that they'll probably get about 100 to 150 yards on us, though.
On run,
Yeah, because our run defense is that weak.
He's got
our
a
run
he's got a
defense,
point. He's
our
got a
run
point.
defense is terrible, but their running game is not great at all. Their running game is terrible. You
It
think
won't
Madison?
matter. Our D line has been really struggling. Now we don't have Sean Tuttle anymore either,
I really don't. I really hope
and
that
a thin
Madison
defensive
doesn't.
tackle spot.
I really hope that Madison doesn't run for 100 yards on us tomorrow.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
we're
right. They
talking
got
about.
Alexander Madison. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a career number 2. That's a
I,
number
I
1.
I'm talking combined numbers from both of these guys.
Mm. We got Andy Dalton about to go 5-0 on these Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
hope
going to
so.
be. Like I said, I think it's going to be mid-20s to 17, 24-17, 28-17 Panthers tomorrow.
Yeah,
Um,
Raiders will definitely get their points. I will say that. They'll
They
definitely
will
get
get
their
their
points.
points. And it also depends on because here's the unknown factor here. I mean, Gardner Minshew's not a joke at all. Are we going to get a 30-point performance from Gardner Minshew, or are we going to get a 10-point performance from Gardner
You don't
Minshew?
know because it's Gardner Minshew. He's so
That's right.
streaky.
So I'm calling it in between. I'm calling 17 points on Gardner Minshew.
Well, our
So,
defense is playing very undisciplined, and we've had coverage issues.
well,
So,
our secondary hasn't been
I mean,
super
if Gar, I, and this is taking into account us being shooting ourselves in the foot and just being the Carolina Panthers. You know
dude.
what I mean? And just doing dumb
We
things.
have to. Here's our number. And David Fields, I'll give him a lot of credit on this earlier last week, before last week's game. Um, Fields called it, and we cannot have the stupid, undisciplined penalties
Oh yeah.
nonstop.
Facts.
We had
Those
9 last
penalties,
week.
but
Clean that up,
a
please.
couple of those were pretty stupid. Um, One of them was the special teams penalty for 15 yards and a touchdown, which was garbage. No one touched the dude. You're telling me that you blocked my view. That was perfect coverage. You had 3 guys in front of one dude on a
Yep.
fumble. We should have had that ball. And I'm
Yep.
telling you, and in Bryce's defense last week, too, the very first drive of the game, the defense made a play on a strip fumble
Mm-hmm.
and they gave it back to them, which I could not believe they gave that
Oh.
back. The guy caught the ball, made 2 steps, turned his shoulders, ran, strip fumble,
Ooh.
and it goes back to the Chargers. And that
Shout
was
out
garbage.
Shout out Silver and Black Gabe, who says outside of Shaq Thompson, I don't see nothing on that defense that scares me. Man,
Oh, we got some Raiders. We got Raiders fans
woo!
turning up. No, I can
Okay.
appreciate that. I can appreciate that. I don't know too many
What a
Raider
comment
fans.
right there!
I don't know too many
I
Raiders
mean,
fans other than my dad.
Wow.
yeah, Raiders fans are like poor man Cowboys fans. They're still living in the 80s. I mean,
Da-
let's be real.
Dang.
Let's be real. When's the last
I
time
ain't say all
they,
that, but dang.
they can't even sleep in the same house for more than 3 or 4 years. I mean, are they the Oakland Raiders, the LA Raiders? Are they going to be the San Diego Raiders? I mean, what are they going to? Are they going to be, you know, owned by father, son? I mean, we don't know. I mean, we're
He
looking
going
at
in on you.
you got rid of Derek Carr for Gardner
Oh
Minshew,
man,
and Derek Carr is throwing up freaking Hall of Fame
this
numbers
man
right.
said the '80s.
Hey, Silver and Black Gabe. Silver and Black Gabe. My dad's a Raiders fan. I'm gonna be watching the game with him, possibly over some Hooters wings. So shout
Dog,
shout
you're going
shout out to
greasy.
you.
You're going
Oh my
greasy.
god.
Shout out to you. But yeah,
Right on.
my dad's a Raiders fan. Silver and Black Gabe.
Oh man.
Hey man, I'll tell you, is the Oakland Raiders fan from the first time or the second time, or is the LA Raiders fan? I mean, it's like the homeless. It's like
Man, Crosby ain't gonna Von Miller us, man. Come on with that.
Hey, is he good to go? He was listed as questionable. Is he good to go?
who's that?
Max Crosby.
Hmm.
Max Crosby's above average. He's not the next Von Miller. Stop it.
Well, to be fair, he is coming off a 14 and a half sack season last year.
He is.
Max is
Yeah,
legit.
I'm
Max
giving
is
him
legit.
credit. I'm giving him credit. Above average.
Is
Cause
that your dad?
cause
No.
cause oh no.
Uh,
But yeah, cause the
30
Raiders
sacks minimum. Come on, man.
they'll put Max Crosby anywhere on that line.
so Max Crosby is listed as questionable right now.
Hmm.
So Divine Diablo is
So,
ruled out.
are y'all saying that Max Crosby is going to beat up on Icky and Taylor Moton? One of the two of them?
So right now, it has it listed right now. Divine Diablo is ruled out. Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins are both questionable. Crosby was limited in practice with an ankle injury. He's questionable to play, and it's a game time decision.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Tyree Wilson, knee, and Christian Wilkins are also questionable to play, game time
All right.
decision.
All right. So, if that's
Linebacker
what you're
Divine
saying,
Diablo concussion is ruled out.
Oof.
Richardson
Crosby is cleared to
ruled
play
out.
and playing. Okay. So what
Oh,
you're
oh, he
saying is,
said he's cleared to play. Okay.
if Crosby is that good, then yes, he will turn into the next Von Miller in this game. But honestly, the numbers will be inflated because Icky and Taylor Moton have been playing like trash,
Well, it depends. Yeah,
despite the PFF ratings. So
well, it depends.
either these guys are worth the PFF ratings or they're not.
That's right. I mean, Moton's
Pick one.
actually
You can't have
Moton.
both.
So Icky consistently has been trash. Moton was trash first game. Second game,
Moton's been trash this last year.
dude, I'm not sticking up for Moton. I'm just saying that he did step it up last week versus week 1. But still, I mean, I look at it from a money standpoint. The amount we're paying Moton right now is garbage. The guy needs to
Absolutely
come down.
garbage for the product
Yeah,
we're getting.
like he's the guy that should come down and restructure and give
He did
us a break.
restructure.
He,
We got
he,
about 10 million out of that with
yeah,
him
we
and one
didn't get
other player.
enough. We should have restructured him for about double that.
Yeah, I agree.
Silver and Black Gabe says he's been a fan since 3/26. He'll be at the game. Oh, that's what's up.
Oh, okay.
Definitely enjoy your time at that new. Y'all got a beautiful stadium. I
They
will say
do have
that
a
y'all
pretty
got
Watch
a
stadium,
the Antonio Pierce
beautiful
interview.
stadium. I will say that.
but it's still the
It
Raiders.
is nice.
Are they the LA Raiders, the Vegas Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, the
Either
LA
way, they're
Raiders?
stagnant and they're not doing anything.
I mean, we don't even know what to call the Raiders anymore except just the Raiders. I
Right.
mean, you just bounce around from town to town. I mean, Oakland, back to Oakland, LA, Vegas. I mean, bump it, dude. I mean, it's a get in where you fit in type deal. It's like the it's like
Y'all
the
trying
guy
to
it's like the
y'all
guy
trying
in
to
high
say
school.
this Baltimore game was something special, man. Look,
Yeah.
man, Baltimore sucks early on in the season.
Well, they always
That's a
and they
known
always
fact.
yeah, they suck first half
And then they
too.
turn it on towards the later part of the season.
That's right.
That's a known fact.
And it is because Lamar Jackson don't have a dude. I own Lamar Jackson in a dynasty league that only cost me like one draft pick, and I pulled him out of free agency years ago. He cost me like right now 11th round draft pick, and
Let's not act like y'all did anything special, man.
that dude turns it on like the third or fourth quarter. And you also got to think when they played the Raiders, the Ravens also had three of their starting defensive guys out of the game. So it was like they were playing a
I didn't buy into
preseason
those
second.
projections.
I mean, they played a preseason type defense against the Raiders. So I don't, I don't read much into that right now early in the season.
I mean,
Yeah, I
when it
never bought into those projections.
I mean,
early on.
when it comes down to it, like, the last handful of years, I mean, the Raiders have really never been a team that you want to sleep on. I mean, there's a lot of history
Facts.
behind
Yeah,
the
And
you
can
don't want to
surprise
Raiders,
some
sleep on
teams
them.
you know.
if you're
You don't
coming in
want to
there
sleep on them.
unprepared.
They'll have a running back and a couple of wide receivers, and they had
Yeah.
Derek Carr, and then they get rid of Derek Carr, and it's like, okay, now we got Gardner Minshew, and
I'm
now you get rid of coaches, and that coach, does he really know what he's doing there? I
cuz
don't know. We don't even know what, if Canales knows what he's doing here, but
Because I
it's still,
mean, let's keep it real. We all know those that those of us that played a lot of Tecmo Bowl. What did we do? We played with the Raiders, played with Bo
CB,
Jackson, and ran all over
CBS
everybody.
even thinks they were a fluke with that one.
Uh, but nah, the Raiders. I mean, shoot,
Like,
Tim.
I don't trust CBS as far as I can throw.
I will say this though. I'll say this to all Raiders fans. I'll keep it real. Y'all got robbed because of that Tuck rule bullcrap.
Yeah,
Y'all got
agreed.
severely robbed from that whole Tuck rule. I think the Tuck rule is the worst rule that they've added in the history of the NFL.
oh, well, let's go. If we're going to
Yeah,
bring that up, we kind of got screwed on we got screwed in the Super Bowl for
we got screwed
deflate.
on the helmet to helmet. We got
We
screwed
got
on a
screwed
number of
on
things.
the deflate gate. We got
Yep,
screwed on
Spygate.
um, Spygate. And
We played them that year.
let's go to the Saints. We got screwed on um the
Sean Payton's
whole
nonsense. Yep,
the Saints trying to hurt players on purpose and
yep,
Drew
yep,
Brees
yep.
paying players. I
I
was
don't
True.
even
in
know what you call
check,
that.
check this out. I was in Cincinnati on the tie game. A buddy of mine's a Cincinnati fan. He owed me money. He was in the military. and I fronted him some money when he got out of the military, and his payback was he gave me an M19 911 pistol, military issued, and he also paid for my airfare, my tickets, and my stay. All I had to do was bring beer money
Mm.
and go to watch
Yo,
Cincinnati Bengals.
Interesting.
To
Interesting.
go
that's a
watch
good deal, man.
Mm.
He was a Bengals fan, and he took me to Cincinnati and paid for the whole trip except for beer money to watch the Panthers play the Bengals in Cincinnati. And it was awesome. And he lined up a tour at the Red Stadium because he knows I'm a #1 baseball guy. And
Nice.
we did all this cool shit. And we went all the way and flew all the way up there for what? A tie. We tied
Oh
it.
yeah, I remember
We tied.
that.
We
I remember
tied.
that.
And that was when Burfict tried to hurt Cam Newton purposely in
Yup.
the end zone and tried to break his ankle,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, and I'll tell you, Cincinnati fans are some of the best fans I've ever been around. I walked into a bar after the game, after a tie, and a guy that was about 6'5" wearing, I mean, he was about the size of Kerry Collins.
Oh
This
shoot.
big dude, like 6'5", and he just looked at me, and I had my Panthers jersey on in the Tin Roof bar in there. It's called a Tin Roof, cool bar. I'm a guitar player, so I respect the Tin Roof. There's one in Nashville, one in Cincinnati, and one in Memphis. And I walk up to the bar and I order, a bucket of beer, and he goes, "Hey," he didn't even look at me. He goes, "What do you drink?" I was like, "Dude, I'm a Busch Light guy. I don't care, man. Cheap
Hmm.
beer." He ordered like 4 shots. He goes, "Here's 2 shots for you, 2 shots for me." He goes, "No one won that game." I was like, "Nope, they didn't." And
Dang.
Facts.
it was super cool. So I had 2 Chris Gamble jerseys because I was a real big Chris Gamble fan,
Ah
right?
yes. Chris
Mhm.
Gamble.
Right? Yeah, Chris Gamble, one of my favorite players from the Carolina Panthers, one of the most underrated players.
Oh yeah. Played out of
Mhm.
Ohio State.
That's right.
Facts.
And his wife was there, and he handed me 2 shots. I took 2 shots with him. We ended up hanging out the whole night out there, me and my Panthers guys and their Bengals people. They were so fucking cool. I took my jersey off and I gave it to his wife and was like, "There's a Chris Gamble jersey." She was like, "That guy's awesome." I was like, "He is awesome."
If I remember correctly, doesn't he still hold the
That's
franchise
the
record
type of
for
fans we want to associate ourselves with, man.
doesn't he still hold the franchise record
That's
for
what's up.
interceptions?
Yes. Chris Gamble. What screwed
Yep.
Chris Gamble? I'm gonna tell you what screwed Chris Gamble was John Fox moved from a man-to-man to a zone D, and Chris Gamble was better man-to-man. You put him man-to-man, he was
Affecting them
locked
Bengals.
down. You moved him to zone, and he would get burned every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But he was so freaking cool. Like his demeanor and everything. And yes, he led the team, and yeah, we should have him on the wall of fame up there. I mean, Chris
Mhm.
Gamble was the freaking man, dude. Silently.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
quiet. He was quiet. He wasn't your arrogant, cocky corner that went out
Right.
there prima donna like a wide receiver or your typical corners
Those are
like
my favorite
Josh
types of Panthers
Norman.
players right there.
Yeah, he wasn't like a Josh Norman
Yup.
personality or any of that. He was quiet and he just did his job. And the
Yep.
only time he was weak
Yup.
is when you put him in zone. And Fox screwed up. That might have been what cost Fox's job was
Eh,
moved him from man coverage on the outside because he was brought in to shut down Julio Jones, Marcus Colston, and the guy like had one of the best games ever against TJ Husmanzada, who was a red zone freak. Like that guy controlled the red zone, one of the best red zone receivers ever.
Well, you remember in '08 he scored that big contract. I think it was like 60 million in '08 cuz he played so well. He became like one of the highest paid backs in the league that year. If I remember correctly, it was
Yeah,
like
and that's that. And then Fox moved into more of a zone guy,
yeah.
and it screwed him because he was a more play off the ball guy. Like he would create this space and then track down, and he would tackle, and
Dude
he could,
dude was a tackling machine as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's a tackling machine. And when they moved him into zone, dude, it was like you made him a nickel almost, and it was like that was the
Right.
dumbest thing ever, man.
And
I
you
mean,
know, had
one of the most underrated corners in NFL history was Chris Gamble. I
yeah.
still have one
Yeah.
of his jerseys.
I mean,
Yeah.
he had quite a rookie year. I mean, he came into
Yeah.
the rookie year, finished with 6 picks.
Yeah, 6 picks rookie year. Yep.
So,
And dude, and he was so quiet. He was a quiet guy, man. Chris Gamble was awesome. And um this guy is a covered down guy, man. Let him run. He was brought in here to shut down some of the biggest receivers in the NFC, which is Marcus Colston, Julio Jones. That's what he was here for. I mean,
oh, that's right. I totally forgot. He was ranked third in the league in interceptions his rookie year.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. He was locked down in the NFC South. No one could fuck with him. None of the receivers could fuck with him. It was like Thomas Davis was the Vic killer. It was like
hmm
Gamble was the guy that none of these big receivers, Julio Jones will tell you today, one of the hardest corners he ever had to go against was Chris Gamble. He was like, dude, I couldn't do anything. I mean, he locked me down every time.
Yeah.
Marcus Colston locked him down every time. Um, and they moved him. They started playing more zone, and when zone came in, it just became an afterthought. It was like, why'd you do that? You got players that are already here. I mean, these are the times where we had Dan Morgan playing linebacker. You know,
And for the most part, Gamble was healthy throughout his career.
always healthy. Dude
Like,
always played. He was always quiet, never had a word to say. I mean, he wasn't cocky. He was humble. He came out and did his job, you
yeah.
know.
And then
Which
again, I mean, shoot, he had such a career with Ohio State. I mean, like,
yeah,
I remember when we drafted him, he was our number one pick in '04, and I was just kind of like, okay, I heard a lot of good things about this dude coming out of Ohio State. Then he ended up finishing with 6 interceptions, then came out following year, 7, didn't have a single
mhm,
sophomore slump or anything like that. I was like,
nope,
okay, we
always
definitely
solid.
got somebody in Chris Gamble.
He was the
So,
best secondary guy. When I say secondary, it's corner and safety. The best secondary guy we ever had since Mike Minner.
oh yeah. So 27 career interceptions, all with Carolina.
Yep.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. Chris Gamble. I'm telling you, when you guys come to my house on the Bears game where we line that up, I'm gonna tell you, I'm wearing my Chris Gamble jersey. I still have one. I have the black one hanging.
Yeah,
You know what I have? I still have a white Kelvin Benjamin jersey.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, he did have 1,000 yards receiving his rookie year. I mean,
That
yeah,
he had the
he
biggest
did.
hands in football, right?
yeah.
Man, what a flounder, dude.
But
But I still got
I definitely believe if you had like an all Panthers team, you got to have Chris Gamble on there.
absolutely,
Like
dude.
hands down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. My jerseys, I don't even
No
buy
question.
jerseys anymore because players leave. I've got a Till Julius Peppers. I've got a Chris Gamble. Still, I had two Chris Gambles. I had a black one and I had a white one. I gave the white one away to the girl in Cincinnati, and because that's how high they thought of them. Um, and I've got a Mike Allstott Tampa Bay jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Michael Vick Falcons jersey because honestly, dude, you got to think I'm pushing 50. I'm 47, 48 years old. I was a Falcons fan. I had no bragging rights. And before we had the Panthers, I was a Falcons fan. I had no dude. One of my favorite players was what's his name? The quarterback, Chris. Who was the quarterback for the Falcons back then?
Chris Winky.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh man, I can't think of his name.
Chris
Chris Chandler?
Chris Chandler.
Chandler.
Yeah.
Yep. Chandler.
Yep. I was a Falcons fan. I went through the Dirty Birds before we even had the Panthers. Like, I've got a Ricky Waters Philadelphia Eagles jersey. I mean, I've got those jerseys still hanging in my closets. You got to think we were in the NFC West at the time. We were in there with San Francisco and the St. Louis, the LA Rams. Um,
Mm.
we didn't have the Southeast. It was like we were just thrown into some conference, the NFC West.
Man,
That's where we started.
could
Was the NFC West.
could you
San Fran-
could you imagine if you had a secondary of Josh Norman, Chris Gamble, Charles Tillman, Roman Harper, Mike Minter, and Kurt Coleman?
Dude, I went to the games when we played in Clemson when Frank Reich was the starting quarterback.
Oh,
Steve
jeez.
Berline. Yeah,
Uh,
I went to those games. I lost my wallet in the bleachers because they were bleachers and it
Dang.
fell through. And I searched all night and pouring
still are
down rain to
bleachers.
find my wallet. And I
Oh
had to
yeah.
cancel my credit cards because I never found my wallet.
Oh, that was
Oh
smart
boy.
move though, because somebody.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And that
But,
was 1994, 95. And that's when I graduated high school, right?
hmm.
So
Yep. 95.
we went, I had a friend of mine's dad had season tickets, and we had to drive to Clemson to watch the games while they were building the stadium. I remember Michael Bates. I
Oh
remember,
yes, good old
yeah, dude,
Michael Bates, one of our best
track star,
returners.
track star, wide receiver and returner,
Now
track star, Olympic track star, won a gold medal. I mean,
I know a lot of people want to say Steve Smith. I get it, but Michael Bates, when it came to special teams in the return game, not Steve Smith, not Rod Smart, not Cajola Pilares,
mm,
Michael Bates, top of the list, hands down.
yeah,
I mean,
arrogant,
he went to a Pro Bowl because of his returns.
special teams.
Yep. Yep.
Mark Carrier, wide receiver.
Mark Carrier, yep.
Mark Carrier. Dude, Steve Berline was the backup quarterback. Frank Reich threw the first touchdown. Steve Berline came in. We brought in Kerry Collins. I watched Kerry Collins play a ton. Do you know that Kerry Collins has thrown for 50,000 yards in his career?
Jeez.
He is borderline Hall of Famer in his career. He's been to 3 NFC championship games with the Saints, with the Panthers, and with the Giants. He went to a Super Bowl with the Giants. I mean, people forget about how good Kerry Collins was. He fucked up and got drunk one night and made a racist comment.
Yeah, that was really
You
what
know,
started his
but
downfall.
today that wouldn't even be a
Yeah.
racist comment. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was like, I remember all these guys, man. I mean, we had Tim Biaka was awesome till he got hurt. Do you remember Tim
Yep.
Biaka?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Poole, Jordan Poole. I mean, we had all these guys here. It was
Oh,
crazy.
and I have to also add quick note.
Eric
Quick.
Davis, Eric Davis played here.
I got to make a quick note when it to Michael Bates. By the way, for those watching, all 5 of Michael Bates' Pro Bowl appearances, all with the Carolina Panthers.
That's
That's
right.
correct.
Yep. Those are the fun days, dude. I went to the game. I worked at Camelot Music Superstore on Independence Boulevard. This was way before you could buy tickets online or whatever. They tore our freaking glass doors down to get in. I ended up with tickets for the playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys in 1990.
That's wild.
In our second year of existence, right? The Jaguars made it and we made it, and it was unbelievable. And I was a key holder at the Camelot Superstore on Independence when I was in college. And I ended up with tickets to the game. They tore the doors down. The tickets sold out in 20 minutes on Ticketmaster. And Wendy Hall, my manager, said, I saved you 2 tickets. I took my brother to the game, to the Carolina Panthers against the Dallas Cowboys with Troy Aikman. This is where we beat them. Deion Sanders, Emmitt Smith, everybody was on that team. We beat them in the first round of the playoffs, the second year team. And we went to Green Bay and got beat bad. But that stadium rocked like I've never heard a stadium rock. I snuck in a fifth of Seagram 7 in a plastic bottle and took my brother to that game for his Christmas present. It was cold as shit. And we were out there. Deion Sanders went to the hospital. Michael, no, it was Michael Irvin broke his collarbone and was standing there on the sideline.
Wow.
We beat them down. Sam Mills had like 7 sacks in that game.
Oof.
And we were a nobody team. Everybody said, where the hell is Charlotte, North Carolina? Before the game. And we beat Dallas down so bad that it was like, what do you think we are now? And everybody was chanting Green Bay. And we went to Green Bay and we got our asses kicked. But we're a second year team. And that was the absolute best game I've ever been to in my life.
Nice.
And that was before you could order tickets online. You had to show up in person at Ticketmaster. The tickets sold out, like I said, in 20 minutes across the state. They tore our glass doors down. People slept overnight. It was like almost a riot. I came into work the next day at like 4 in the afternoon. I was still in college. And Wendy goes, I saved you 2 tickets. I was like, wow, you rock. Why is there shattered glass everywhere? She goes, that's the way the day went this morning. I was like, all right, cool.
Mm.
And I took my brother to that game. And that was the hypest game I've ever been to in Carolina Panther history.
Nice.
It was insane. And we beat the Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the freaking playoffs.
Yep. I
Troy
remember.
Aikman, Emmitt Smith,
Mm.
Michael Irvin. We had Sam Mills. Kerry Collins was the quarterback,
Mhm.
Yep.
and we beat them down.
And that was
And it was crazy.
only the second year into the franchise.
Second year in the franchise.
Yeah.
Sam Mills ended the game on an interception and dove and hugged the ball to the ground.
Yep.
That was the game winner right there. He called interception over the middle and just laid down and protected the ball, and it was done. That was absolutely phenomenal. That place was rocking so hard. That's when it was called Ericsson Stadium.
Yep. Sure
That,
was.
Mhm.
right.
Ericsson Stadium. That the cell phone company, Ericsson.
That's right. That's right. Ericsson Stadium. It
Yeah.
was the best sporting event I've ever been to, other than coaching my kids in Cooperstown.
Nice.
It was
Nice.
absolutely nuts. It was crazy. That place was so loud. It was crazy. And being from Charlotte, I was born and raised here.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I went to college here and everything. So, born and raised here and watching this, I worked for a law firm when I was in high school and college that actually brought the Panthers here. The law firm I worked for, Smith Helms Mulson Moore,
Oh. Okay.
worked with
Mm.
with Bank of America at the time. It was Nations Bank, um, to bring the stadium here. And then a good friend of mine's dad had tickets to Clemson for the first year. So I went to multiple games down in Clemson. I watched Frank
Nice.
Wright play down there. I watched Steve Berline play. I mean, I've seen it all
Mm-hmm.
from top to bottom. We sucked. I mean, it was like we drove all the way to Clemson. The traffic was terrible.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Always is down there.
Oh, I can
we're a
imagine.
franchise. We were a franchise team. You know, when they used to have the draft for expansion draft. That's how we got Sam Mills. That's how we got Michael Bates. That's how we got Mark Carrier. I mean, that's how we got those guys. Mark Carrier was the freaking man, dude. I mean, he was like our number one wide receiver, Mark Carrier. You know,
Yeah, I remember Mark Carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
so watching these guys play and watching that team build from there to now in 2024, I've seen it all. I've seen the bullshit. I've seen the good. I've seen the bad. I've seen the Jake Delomes. I mean, Jake Delome is what, number 5 in all time Super Bowl history and stats. I mean, the dude
That
threw
game was insane.
Yeah.
nuts,
Like
nuts, nuts. It was absolutely fantastic. It
still
was
Oh my
great.
god.
still holds the record for longest touchdown pass in a Super Bowl.
Absolutely. To Musa Muhammad.
Yep, 85
Yep.
yarder.
That's right. That's right.
The Moose.
I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen the poor, the good, everything. So,
I think what really sparked me just really being like, you know what, this Jake Delhomme might be about something. Do y'all remember the game-winning touchdown he threw to Ricky Prohl in that Jaguars game?
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
That
saw
was
how
insane.
he ran over to him. He kind of looked left and looked right just to make sure there was no flag, and then just kept running over, and he dove on top of Ricky Prohl. I won't
Yeah.
ever forget that, because
Yep.
second half, first half, at the end of the first half they benched Rodney Pete. Second half,
Yep.
put in Jake
Yep.
Delhomme, and they did not
Mhm.
look back.
That's right. And
Yep.
that's what we need. We need another Jake Delhomme. We have the Ricky Prohl. We
Yep.
have Adam Thielen here.
Mhm.
We need another Jake Delhomme. We don't need another Cam Newton. I love Cam Newton. I want to see pocket passers. Bring me guys that are, a true quarterback. Like I want to see true quarterbacks here. I'm tired of seeing uh, the first round Heisman Trophy
Mm.
guys. I don't care about all that. Give
Yeah, I'm
me
done with Heisman winners too.
And,
That's right,
and
dude. I'm just tired of seeing that, man. I want to see. Just
I'm
give me a
burnt
guy
out.
back there. Give me a slow guy back there that's going to take hits, not fumble the ball,
Yeah.
not going to throw interceptions. He's going to throw. He's
We
going to
want those
throw.
old style quarterbacks, man.
I
not to
want old.
not to
I want
mention, I think one of the
That's why I
things,
like. That's why I like Will Levis. That's why I wanted him.
and,
That's why I wanted Derek Carr.
we
Like
gotta remember, one of the premier things that stood out about Jake Delhomme, that dude knew how to win at crucial times. Because you gotta remember that magical starting season,
Mhm.
he led eight game-winning drives that season,
8 guys.
he
which that set the record for the most game-winning drives of any quarterback in a single season at that time.
That's right. He set
Like,
records. People don't even understand how good Jake Delhomme was as a quarterback. This guy came out of Louisiana Lafayette, played in the Canadian League for like a year, played in the Arena League for a little bit, and
yes,
then came in and became what he was. That's what I want. I want a blue collar guy. That's actually why I like Will Levis. Like, bring him in. I don't care if he's batshit crazy. I mean, Will Levis, we could have taken him, and I mean, what round was Levis? He dropped so far down, it didn't even matter. And that guy ended up starting his first year. I mean,
I
he's
figured he
tough
would
as
start.
nails. So what?
I figured he would start. It just depends on where he would have landed.
yeah.
Well, I mean, he
And I
ended
had a
up with
feeling Tennessee
Tennessee.
was gunning for him some point down the line.
Yeah. I mean, he was drafted in what, the fourth or fifth? I mean, he was drafted late, dude. Like
Yeah.
he almost. I mean,
Yeah.
he was drafted third, fourth round or
He
something.
didn't really impress me during the combine, but you could tell the tools were
Arm.
there.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
don't
he was
and don't
kind of
get
weird. Like
eh,
he had a weird like personality, and I think that's what
Yeah.
threw a lot of people off.
yeah.
Was
Yeah.
he was he was kind of cocky and had a weird personality, and was like, I don't know how to figure this guy out.
Yeah.
But it's like, but the guy has the strongest arm in the foot in football right now,
Hmm.
This is
and
true.
he's kind of in a shit situation where if you would have bridged him one more year with Tannehill, like they had there, that led you to the AFC, playoffs, it's like, it would have been better if you'd have kept Tannehill one more year and not just throwing him in the damn fire.
Let
Everybody throws these young guys in the fire, and it doesn't make sense, man.
let
The NFL used to not be like that. You got
That
drafted.
might have been a contract situation though.
let me ask y'all this. Just an interesting question. Are y'all surprised that Jake Delhomme only got one Pro Bowl in his career?
I am
Yes.
very surprised because he had 2 years that he
Very
should have had
surprised.
another one. He should have had two.
Hmm.
So you think
He
he
Yep.
should
should
have
have
he
had
should have at least had two?
He should have
I
had
think
two.
too as well.
Yep, he should have had 2 Pro Bowls. And the guy still is like very, very involved with the Carolina Panthers and football in general. Um, I think he coaches somewhere in college right now. But I
He's
mean,
also a broadcaster for the Panthers games too.
Mm-hmm.
he is. I mean, Jake Delhomme was so underrated. I mean, everybody wants to slurp on Kurt Warner. They came from the same type atmosphere. Jake Delhomme, Kurt Warner had one really killer freaking year. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you why he
Yeah.
had that. You have Marcus Falk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce. Dude, you had the greatest show on turf. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that was disgustingly
you're the
dirty.
freaking man. After that year, I mean, not
Man.
to take anything away from Kurt Warner, but Jake Delhomme did shit with a lot less.
Yep.
I mean,
So
he did it with multiple guys. I mean, dude, I remember we had Tyrone Poole. Y'all remember him?
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone Poole. I mean, we had guys that were just like,
Drew Carter.
yeah,
Yep.
Drew Carter. I mean, dude, we had guys that were just like, Tyrone Poole was like the next big thing,
Mm-hmm.
We drafted him and he had
Mm-hmm.
2 good years and he fell off. I mean, but even Steve Berline when he was here. I mean, watching these guys play, they wanted to win. It was like, I'm here for a reason. Now no one's here for a reason. It's like, okay, whatever, man. If I don't do it in 2 years, I'll just go somewhere else and do it. That's
And
why I always respected Sam Darnold. I've always respected Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has been put in a shit situation ever since he was drafted. Every
Yep.
single time every year since he was drafted. And I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
USC quarterback guy. I
uh-huh.
mean, I'm not a West Coast quarterback or wide receiver guy from any of that from the Pac-10.
Mm-hmm.
Kerry Colbert, all these guys. I mean, receivers don't pan out from the West because they're used to just being open all the time. That was old school. Things have changed now. Sam Darnold is a solid quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. Is he great? No. Is he good? Absolutely. He's good. He's doing shit in Minnesota that he doesn't even have.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even have a number one wide receiver. He doesn't even have a number one running back.
Well, he's got Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, he's got
True.
Jefferson. He does have Jefferson, but Jefferson's not really putting up stats. Darnold's putting it like, honestly, Addison is going to be their takeover there.
But I think the thing with Justin Jefferson is
Yeah.
he is coming back from injury because that took him out for most of
He is.
last
You
season, if I
also
Fair
got to
remember
point.
think
correctly.
Yep.
he's playing. He's playing on the half foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we also got to look at Addison hasn't even played this year.
Mm.
Addison, I'm telling you, dude, he's 24 years old. Jordan Addison is like the next big deal. Like they don't even are they gonna re-sign Jefferson and pump him? He's
Solid
gonna be
point.
Yeah, and don't forget
What are they going to do there?
Jefferson's still 25 years old, so he's like,
dude, I love Jefferson. I'm not slamming him. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
Same.
Jordan Addison is might be the one that takes the place there. So when your rookie contract or whatever comes up, you're obsolete, man. I mean, we've seen that with like cornerbacks like Peterson.
oh
I
So
yeah.
mean,
many different players
you
around
know,
the league. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So I mean, these guys you can be replaced every day, and
Facts.
Jefferson is great. I mean, Jefferson is the man.
the gritty
But
man.
Yep.
Jefferson also had, you know, early on he had Stephon Diggs there. He's not there anymore. Jordan Addison is hurt right now. Jordan Addison, I'm gonna tell you what, dude. I'll take him tomorrow when he comes off. And Corey, by the way, he's still available in our league. I mean,
Oh,
He almost had a
I
1,000
didn't
yards.
notice that.
He almost had 1,000 yards receiving last season.
He did.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he came close. He only needed 88 more.
you talking about Addison?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That guy is
Mhm.
the real deal. I'm telling you. So who you gonna pay? 1 year different. Who you gonna pay? Someone's gonna get a big time contract, or you're gonna end up with the same situation that the Cincinnati Bengals ran into with Boyd, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. What you gonna do?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. That's a fair
Correct.
point.
Right?
Yep.
So I mean, what you gonna do there? Because the
That's
Bengals are in an abysmal financial problem right now.
yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And,
And that's
and
gonna
they look like crap because they got rid of Mixon, which made no sense. And
None at all.
yeah.
Brown is not their answer at running back.
Mm.
Because I
So
mean, yeah.
Chase Brown is not their
Yeah.
answer.
If Burrow loses his weapons, I mean,
Dude, and Burrow's the man, dude.
Cincinnati will go downhill very
yeah.
I mean,
quickly.
so you're gonna have to do something. So who you paying? You've already paid Higgins, and
Yeah.
you've
Mhm.
agreed, but now you have no running game.
But I will
You
say
can't have
Right.
this:
you can't have
A healthy Joe Burrow is a dangerous Joe Burrow.
dude.
That's a fact.
Joe Burrow is beast mode, bro. The problem is their offensive line has always been garbage, and that's why he
Absolutely.
got hurt. And he still played through it and got hurt
Hmm.
and couldn't play through it, and then he came back and he got hurt. It's like, dude, you've got.
Andy knows a
And
little something about that too.
he does. That's right. And now you've got Higgins and Chase. You had to get rid of Boyd. Chase was going to hold out for the whole fucking year, which is garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his prerogative. That's where the players' union comes in,
Yep.
Hmm
and it's garbage. T. Higgins agrees early, and then he gets hurt. I mean, you lost Mixon to sign these receivers. Who you got? Chase Brown? I mean, dude, your running game is
Mm,
garbage. Your
yeah.
offensive line is still shit.
Yep.
And
Still garbage.
so, I mean, everybody's like, but you know who catches the blame for it? Joe Burrow. Burrow catches the garbage on it. Not, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
he's the one
crazy.
that
Of
catches
course,
the
because why
pass.
not, right?
Right. I mean, he's the quarterback.
Uh,
I mean, it's not that, Jamar Chase is holding out or playing half-ass
right.
because he don't want to get hurt and he wants, dude, you already signed a contract extension on 2 years. You're making a lot of money. Now you want to, he's doing the Dak Prescott. You've already re-signed once on an extension, and now you want double that on an
Oof.
extension. And then T. Higgins
Nope.
has to resign. I mean, it's greed, dude.
You know what I just
Mm,
realized?
yikes.
As of week 2, Joe Burrow has 99 passing touchdowns and only 37 interceptions.
Joe Burrow's the man, bro. I'm telling
And
you.
we're talking about somebody that's missed a whole season of
And,
injury.
and that's right, exactly.
Like,
And it's missed almost two because of the same injury with the knee.
and played in a
And
Super Bowl.
that's
Like,
right. And took the Bungles to a Super Bowl. And they can't get it right there. So you know what? Solid ownership right there. They don't have the flamboyant Tepper or Dan Snyder or Jerry Jones or any of that. That's
not
still an ownership problem up there. That's
that,
an ownership problem. Look at
Yep.
Cleveland. The dumbest
Yeah.
thing they ever did. The dumbest thing. I'm so glad that we didn't get caught up in that. The dumbest thing is they went all in for Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah, we almost
Deshaun
got
Watson,
caught up
Yep.
in that.
$250 million.
yeah. And this guy's
Massive
garbage.
mistake.
Absolute garbage. He's garbage.
Yeah.
He's not even good.
Cleveland's paying for it right now.
That's right. And now he's about to get suspended or locked up or P.
Ye-
Diddy'd or whatever.
Yeah, he's in some more legal trouble. Word
Yeah.
is.
Oh
He's in
man.
it now.
New
To the
lawsuit this
point-
past week.
To the
Yep.
point,
Yeah.
guess what? Joe Flacco's going to come in and save that fucking franchise. Watch.
Why didn't they just stick with Joe Flacco to begin with? You
Yeah.
know, like,
I mean,
I don't know.
was comeback player of the year last season. And
I mean, I don't get it. Everybody wants
you
these
knew what was going to happen.
guys. I mean, give me a veteran. I don't care.
Yeah.
Give me veteran after veteran after veteran. I'll stick with veterans every year.
you know what's
Bring me
also
a veteran.
really sad? Deshaun Watson has only in his NFL career only 2 winning seasons.
Yep.
Mm,
Oh, let's look at this.
which is a shame.
Look at
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson keeps getting paid and keeps getting paid. This guy doesn't even start anymore. He's the
Yeah.
backup at Pittsburgh. You know why?
All right.
What's
He
up?
is in the wrong system. That's why he's not succeeding. He only plays the RPO system.
Who? Watson
Russell
or
Wilson?
Russell?
Russell.
Well,
Oh.
I mean, he's gone from Seattle to Denver to Pittsburgh. It's like, dude.
Denver and Pittsburgh do not run the RPO.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck they were trying to do with him in Denver. Like,
neither one of those places runs the RPO. That's why he's not succeeding. Put him in an RPO and he thrives. Even in that situation in Denver, he still hit 3,000 yards.
oh,
yeah, but still,
yeah.
I mean,
despite not being in an RPO.
but you know
that
what?
proves he still has the talent.
Corey, I get it, but what I'm saying is, if you're getting paid what he is getting paid, he should be throwing for 4,000 yards, not 3,000.
Stop paying him so doggone much then.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
That-
I
If
think
you're going to
roughly,
put him in the wrong system, then stop paying him like he's a #1 Pro Bowler.
Let me see.
my opinion on Russell Wilson is he's a bitch.
Let me see what his contract is.
He's a little bitch, man. He's soft. He's charming. He's soft as hell. I mean, the guy was threatened to
That's
be
an
killed.
interesting take.
I mean, let's just be real. His personal life comes into this too. I mean,
Okay.
his wife's ex-husband was like, dude, I'll fuck you up the ass, dude. I'll kill you.
Oh, you're talking about Sierra? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Sierra's ex, the rapper. I mean, he's like, dude, and he is. And Russell Wilson is. He's a little bitch. I mean, let's be real. The guy has no nuts. He's a little playboy.
So he's got a 1 year, $1,210,000 contract.
But his contract that he signed.
Why is it that high?
Yeah, that is pretty high.
Yeah. It's
Why are these franchises paying him that much?
Well,
I mean,
Pittsburgh's going to pay for it because that's also the amount of the cap hit. So,
well, look at what he signed with the Broncos.
Denver's stupid.
Yeah, with the Broncos, it was a 5-year, $242 million contract. Yeah.
Why? Why would Denver pay him that much?
And they only
This is
kept
John
him.
Elway's team.
And they only kept him 1 year.
1 year, dude.
It's absurd.
They ate so much dog shit.
And the
Russell Wilson, it was the worst contract in history. Is that?
And the sad thing,
goodness.
and the sad thing, his guaranteed was 161 million of that contract.
That's right. and then look on top of that.
So you're guaranteeing him that much to play like that?
Because you got to remember
that the wrong system.
Because you got to remember that contract was
Good
supposed to go through 2028.
Dude, He signed that contract before Sean Payton got hired as coach
Yep.
at Denver.
Yep.
And Sean
yep.
Payton was like, this guy's he's a wuss. I mean, basically, Sean Payton was like, I'm not starting him. I'm not playing him. I'm not doing it. I didn't come into this. You guys paid me to be a head coach, and Russell Wilson's not a quarterback.
But then again, I don't think Bo Nix is the answer either.
I
No,
think
Bo Nix is definitely not the answer.
Bo Nix is not the answer, but at the same time, I mean, let's be real. I mean, Bo Nix.
He might do
Also,
he might do a better job than Zach Wilson though. I'll give him that. Maybe he'll do a better job than him, but no.
I mean, they have no weapons. I mean, look at Denver.
Oh, then again,
Name
Denver, I'm
name-
calling y'all out. Why do you continuously get the wrong quarterback that does not fit your system?
oh shoot, he already has 4 interceptions. Dang.
Why do you continuously do this? Y'all could have had so much success and you keep doing this.
who's the number one wide receiver for the
Go down the
Denver?
list of quarterbacks that y'all get.
It looks like Josh Reynolds.
Nah, it's Cortland
They're all in the
Sutton.
wrong system.
It's Cortland Sutton.
It's Cortland Sutherland.
Yeah. So
Hey, y'all
who's the
trying to make
number one?
lemonade out of garbage.
That's right. Who's the number one running back?
They have
It's the dude from Carolina, from the Tar Heels, that already had an ACL surgery. He is good. I'm a Tar Heel fan, so
I are you talking
I
about
mean,
Javonte Williams?
Javonte Williams. Yeah, he's the number one running back.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So that's your number one running back that just came off an ACL replacement, and your number one wide receiver is Cortland Sutton.
We got to play them this year, by the way.
If we
Yep,
don't beat
yep.
them, then we should just quit, because that team is in a way more disarray than we are. They have no weapons.
It is freaking
Yeah.
dumpster fire.
But then again, the last time we played them, they beat us with Drew Lock. So
Drew Lock, but I will tell you this. Drew Lock kind of got screwed because he had no weapons, no offensive line. They relied on defense. That was a
And they
replacement.
still beat us.
They still beat us. But we were also starting,
although Patrick Surtain II, I mean, that's their one gem. That's
who we would have ended up drafting had we not gotten J.C. Horn. By the way.
True.
Yeah, Surtain. But you know what they just paid Surtain?
Oh yeah, he just got pizzade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good reason. Dude's balling out and he's staying healthy.
Yeah, but you know what? In 2 years, he worth that contract? I mean, dude,
Maybe
they
not.
they paid him quarterback money to be a cornerback. I mean, it's
I don't understand why they keep overpaying these players that much money.
Dude. And then the next day, they paid Jalen Ramsey like more than him.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense to me at all.
Jalen Ramsey's great, but he's kind of hit the injury bug.
Dude, you can't pay him more than Surtain. I mean, they're paying these guys like $200 million. I mean, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about Dallas. Like, Dallas is stuck with Dak Prescott for life.
But I think
That's the GM, though.
Let's be real.
That's the GM.
Dallas has already extended Dak one time for like $180 million, highest paid quarterback. And then they paid him again another.
Is he worth half of that? No.
No. And then they paid him another $200 million on another contract extension in Dallas.
For what reason?
And then they wouldn't pay CeeDee Lamb, and then they ended up paying CeeDee Lamb. And guess who they brought back as the number one running back? Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh yeah.
That dude's hard. It's like, dude, you got all your money tied up in Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. You let Tony Pollard go, which was stupid.
Yeah, that they did.
That was dumb as hell. Dumb as shit. And you brought Elliott back and then paid him $60 million for Ezekiel Elliott? Who owns Ezekiel Elliott in any fantasy football league? Let's be real.
Crickets.
I don't. He's in every free agency in every league I'm in. I'm in 4 leagues. No one owns Ezekiel Elliott. Has anybody even heard about him this year? No. No one's heard about him, and he wasn't even good when he was good. I mean, it's like Tony Pollard was your guy. And now Tony Pollard went to where?
But here's the thing: is Dak
Tony
is
Pollard's with Tennessee now, and he's killing it. Absolutely killing it.
here
18 fantasy points a week. I
here's
mean,
the here's the thing though. Is Dak Prescott's situation really that much different from Tony Romo?
I mean, honestly, it's just stupid is what I think it is.
Because
My personal opinion.
I
They
just find him being as good enough to maybe get to the playoffs, but nothing more than that. And that's pretty much what Tony Romo was.
right. And
Yeah.
that's where do we have the worst owner in the league? Because we've
Above
never spent
average.
that much on quarterbacks. I mean, it's like Jerry Jones. See, here's the problem. Prescott was a Jerry Jones pick.
Jerry Jones controls everything in Dallas.
Yep.
And it
Everything
wasn't
goes through him.
what's his name? Who was the head coach when they brought him in? It was it Mike McCarthy?
It was the guy before Mark McCarthy, I think.
Jason Garrett?
No, it wasn't Garrett.
No, it wasn't Garrett.
It wasn't Garrett on the Prescott.
No.
I think it was McCarthy.
I guess it was
It
McCarthy
could have
then.
been McCarthy.
And he didn't want him. And he didn't want a lot of the players. He didn't want Ezekiel Elliott re-signed.
Mm.
And guess what happened? And guess who got fired?
Oof.
You know, I mean, Jerry Jones runs that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. What he
And
says goes.
He's too arrogant. And this is why I think this was a Canales decision and a Dan Morgan decision to bench Bryce and not a Tepper. Because Tepper is the one that wanted Bryce Young and not CJ Stroud. Frank Reich wanted CJ Stroud.
I'm gonna have to push back on this one because if you watched Dave Canales' presser, when asked about that, Dave Canales said, "I'm gonna keep that private."
Yeah, he
Quote
did.
unquote.
He did.
And you know, that to me just screamed David Tepper interference right there.
Yeah, but you know what? Who drafted Bryce Young?
The whole doggone front office.
The Bryce Young draft was not
There
Frank
is
Reich. It wasn't Dan Morgan. It wasn't
it was the
Fedor.
whole front office, bro. They all approved it.
Bryce Young.
At any point, any one of them could have said no to that. Any one of them. But none of them did.
Bryce Young was a Tepper.
None of them objected, dude. They were having debates about that all month long.
Well, I get it.
It came to a decision.
At the end of the day, from what I understand and from my inside sources, Tepper wanted Bryce Young because he scored so high on the WIC test, right? He did not want Stroud, and that was the game breaker.
Shoot.
So we got Bryce Young because Tepper wanted him. He wasn't, and if that's the case,
that's all speculation. We could say who wanted who all day long, but the point is
speculation. I don't know if that for a fact, but I know the coaches came in and benched him without. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, Frank Reich and Josh.
All of this is speculation. Nobody can prove their point on either side of this.
Well, Josh McCown and video
There's
shows.
no.
Josh McCown and Frank Reich were talking to CJ Stroud and said, "Can't wait to play golf with you and have you here. We want you
They say
here."
that to everybody that comes up here, man. That's getting scouted.
Well,
That's
I
a
get
major
it.
quality
Maybe,
player.
maybe not.
They
But
say
I'm
that to
just
everybody.
saying.
Even Michael Barrett, man. Even Michael Barrett got that treatment.
Dude, what I'm
Even
saying
as far
is
back as Michael Barrett.
Frank Reich doesn't like small quarterbacks. He wants big quarterbacks. That's all he's ever coached. He's a big
He's
quarterback.
got a point.
I mean, all he's ever coached is big quarterbacks.
Nobody ever complained about Bryce Young's height when this
He
man was
also,
winning a national championship.
Frank Reich
Not a
also
single person.
Frank Reich also
Where
made
were y'all at
comments.
then?
Frank Reich also made comments before he was let go, and even afterwards. And when Josh McCown was let go, there was comments made about the decision on the quarterback room, and they didn't have any say so. And it was like, well, I mean, it was hidden under the gym, but it was made clear when he was let go that I won't
I
say
have yet to see said comments.
I want to say made clear. What I'm gonna say is it was hinted. I didn't want this fucking quarterback. I
I
did
have yet
not
to
want
see
it.
said comments.
So
So as far as I'm concerned, it's still speculation until I've seen said comments.
I don't
On
even
my
know.
end.
I don't even know that Frank Reich wanted Stroud. I think he might have wanted Will Levis, and I think that
Interesting.
Federer may
Yeah.
even wanted that. And these
This
guys
is
got thrown
all
under the bus.
speculation.
It is, but still speculation thinking that they wanted Bryce Young. I didn't want Bryce Young.
The point is, we have Bryce now.
Dude, I'm
What?
5'8".
No matter who said
No
what.
way. There's
No matter
no
who
way
said
that I
what, we have Bryce Young,
I'm 5'8",
whether we
100.
like it or not.
Right, but I'm still telling you, I don't think that
Whether
was.
he is short or tall enough, it does not matter. We have Bryce Young.
That's right. But what I'm saying is, speculation or no speculation, I think my personal opinion was Federer and Frank Reich and Josh McCown, who is 6'3", former quarterback, a
Man,
decent quarterback coach, wanted someone else. And I agree if that was the case.
at any point, any one of these people could have voiced their vote against this. At any point.
Not when a billionaire tells you who to
At
draft.
any point. Yeah, David Tepper did have the final vote. So yeah, he would have said, yeah, it was my vote. But people disagreed.
He's not gonna ever say
He
that.
would have said that. Yeah, he would have.
Hmm.
It's Tepper. He's egotistical enough to say that.
He would have never
He would
said
have
that.
put that on the camera, yeah.
I mean, his wife wanted players because of their name. I mean, we don't even know who wanted who at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
There are other franchises that don't have this type of controversy, and the owner is transparent with people.
Wasn't it Nicole Tepper that wanted Chuba Hubbard, or like somebody's wife wanted Chuba
No,
Hubbard?
it wasn't Chuba Hubbard. It was
Nah,
Frank Reich's wife. Tepper's wife wanted. It was Matt Rule. It was when Rule was still here. That's what I'm saying. When Rule
Okay.
we could play that game all day long. The
Rule
point
was
is,
still
we have
here,
Bryce.
they went in.
What are we gonna do with it?
They like certain players.
Yeah.
And everybody made the clown joke of, so is she going to design our jerseys and do this? She was part of the war room on something. And you're right, Jason. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't Chuba Hubbard. It was someone, she just liked the name and brought him in
Mm.
and made that call. And that's where it kind of leads me to believe too, because Tepper, we have to be real here. And I don't like Tepper, and he's an owner. We have to respect him because he is the owner, unfortunately. What are we gonna do? We can't fire him. You guys want to chip in 3 million apiece and let's go buy the team? It's
Well, they
not
can't
gonna
do
happen.
anything about the NFL either,
Well,
We
we
can't.
and the
we
garbage that they're doing.
What
we
I'm saying
So
is
counterpoint.
if Tepper's hands were involved, he did not like Stroud because Stroud was like
Everybody's hands were involved, bro.
Stroud's WIC test was like the third worst in history. And it
right.
was. Because
And
he's pretty freaking dumb, honestly, on a conversation. He's pretty dumb. Stroud's not a smart guy. He's done well as a football quarterback. Tepper
and we're
doesn't
led
look
to
at
believe that Bryce is way smarter than he actually is.
Bryce scored like one of the highest ever in history, and Tepper liked that. And listening to local sport talk radio and guys that were involved in that said that Tepper was high on Stroud, high on Young because of his intelligence.
They
Just
overhyped
kinda-
that a lot.
That well, it
He's
is what it
smart.
is.
Don't get me wrong. He's smart.
He's
Do not
smart.
get it twisted. But they overhyped the heck out of it.
They did, but who made that call? Because Frank Reich was
Everybody in
not
the room did.
Frank Reich
Anybody
was
could have disagreed with that.
Frank
Anybody.
Reich was not
And they
Frank
could have
Reich
got that
came
on
out,
camera.
dude. When they started out like 0-3, Frank Reich
They
was
had
pretty.
an entire month.
Are you gonna listen or are you gonna talk over me?
I'm hearing you. I'm
Okay,
hearing you. Go ahead.
because Frank Reich, week 3, week 4 of last year, pretty much was blatant about that. He said everything but this is not the quarterback I wanted. I didn't draft this quarterback. My hands are tied. He said everything but that. That's why
Mm.
he got fired so quick because he was like, he wasn't going to put up with the shit. He's a Christian guy that's a minister,
He's got a point
that,
there. He is.
and he really wanted CJ Stroud, that was 6'2" and not a 5'8" guy. He blatantly almost said it. Josh McCown was also involved in that, who is also 6'3" and was riding the coattails of Frank Reich. This was a Tepper decision on Bryce Young because he scored higher. And that's where a lot of people say that Tepper's racist and
Whoa, whoa.
dumb.
Now we're
And
bringing that into this?
there was a lot of that brought up here, man. I listen to Sport Talk Radio all
Oh,
day. Dude,
oh, you're saying there was a lot of people that speculated that, or
yes, yes.
oh, interesting.
So it was kind
Whoa.
of coming out where it was like he thought CJ Stroud was dumb as shit, pretty much. And Bryce Young was smart as hell, and that's who he wanted as quarterback. And he made that call. And Frank Reich did not want that call, and neither did Josh McCown. And they made the move to go up and go get Bryce Young. Now, that might be speculation. I might be talking out my ass. But what I'm saying is, I don't think, and I personally do not think these guys were involved. They did not want Bryce Young here. They wanted CJ Stroud. So they're trying to work out a deal to get CJ Stroud, which we still wouldn't have got with our draft pick unless we were going to move up. So if we were going to move up, we were going to have to go to number 1. We went to number 1. That was not a Frank Reich move. That was not a Federer move. That was not anybody's move to go get Bryce Young. I think everybody in the building wanted everything with CJ Stroud was coming to the Carolina Panthers until the Wick test. Once the Wick test happened, it all changed. I heard it every morning. I listened to it every morning. Every single morning, being here in Charlotte. It was CJ Stroud, CJ Stroud. Maybe we don't do anything and we go after Will Levis. That's the way it was going to be. And then all of a sudden, it's Bryce Young. And that's when the Wick scores came out and CJ Stroud scored his like second lowest next to Frank Gore in history. And Tepper was not that guy for that. He wanted the smartest guy that we could bring in. That's the way it was portrayed here in Charlotte. So I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to say that I don't think that Frank Reich wanted any of that. And I don't think anybody wanted it. I wanted CJ Stroud. And we ended up with Bryce Young. And why did it change when it was going to be CJ Stroud the entire time? And then all of a sudden, the Wick test comes out. And it's like, oh, well, this dude's dumb as hell. I want Bryce Young. After the interviews, personal interviews with the owner's wife, and everybody. And that's why Frank Reich actually made a couple of comments before he got let go, saying, well, situations are situations, and sometimes you're put in situations that you have no control of.
That's not what he was referring to.
So what's he referring to? Because this is a guy that enjoyed
the whole team that was given to him.
I don't know, man. Nah, I think it's Tepper made that pick on Bryce Young. I mean, that's my personal opinion. That was not a Frank Reich. That was not a Federer thing. That wasn't anything. That was a Tepper.
Oh, okay.
Said,
all right.
I want Bryce Young. And that's who we're going to
offer a rebuttal? Can I offer a rebuttal?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. First of all, anybody in that room, and it was shown on camera on the Panthers blueprints. We all reviewed it on stream. Anybody in that room could have disagreed, and it would have been on camera for everybody to see. Anybody. Okay, so consider when that trade was made. They had that long to debate this and change their mind. Okay? None of them did it. Everybody in that room was happy. Everybody in that room was clapping their hands. You could see it on camera. Even Josh McCown. Even the head coach. Both of them clapping their hands. Happy.
So when a billionaire tells you, what do you do? Do you just sit there?
Let me finish. Let me finish.
You say it on camera that this is bullshit?
The owner did not tell him what to do. The owner agreed with the decision on Bryce Young to begin with. Everybody in that room did. You don't trade up to number one to get somebody that you are not 100% confident in.
Unless
you don't make that move.
Who's the money maker there? Who makes that call?
Why would they be 50-50 if they were not 100% confident in who they were drafting?
Do you like Tepper?
I'm not, bro. Nobody likes Tepper at this point.
I don't hate Tepper. I'm just saying
2/3 of the league's owners don't like Tepper at this point.
Right. So, what do you do?
But that's besides the point, though.
So, Corey, if you're Frank Reich,
now you let me finish.
And I'm David Tepper.
Let me
and
finish.
I'll say, go ahead.
There's video evidence of it that everybody was happy in that room and accepted it for what it was.
Is video
Nobody complained about his height when this man won the national championship and won the Heisman, did they? Not a single one of them. Where were y'all at when he was winning that national title?
So why would
All of these same people.
Frank Wright make comments later on saying that this really
Because he's
was
a liar.
Okay.
He's a known liar
Do you
throughout the
think
whole
he's
year.
a liar? Or do you think who do you trust more, Tepper
Frank
or
Wright
Frank
is a known liar throughout the whole year. I don't
He's
trust Frank Wright at all.
Frank Wright's a freaking minister.
He might be a minister, but he's also a liar.
Do you trust? Okay, so who do you trust more, Frank Reich or David Tepper?
I don't trust either one of them.
Okay, so who do you trust more? Pick one, bacon or beer. You got to pick one. Do you like bacon or beer better?
Now that's not fair. That's not
No,
fair.
Totally fair.
Okay,
So you like
look,
Tepper or do you like Frank Reich better? Because you
I'm
hate
not picking
Tepper.
one because I don't trust either one of them.
Okay, so who has the control, bacon or beer? Tepper or Wright? Who has more control? If I'm
Now
Tepper,
that's an interesting question because of the fact that we had Matt Rule who had more power than the entire freaking organization
then
during
Federer
that
for
time
his
period.
first year. You're right.
So
So no one has control. Who has the control of the team at the time? Who had full control? Why does everybody? Okay, so riddle me this:
why,
if it's
why
a
are we
Frank Reich,
debating over something that's not even necessary to
no,
debate
what
over?
I'm saying is,
That's my point.
no, what I'm saying is, okay,
We're
if
stuck
you
with
hate,
Bryce either way.
we are. You're right. So what I'm saying is, who made the call on Bryce Young versus
It
Stroud?
it does the whole room did. They had
No.
an entire 2 weeks to decide, bro.
Who
You
has
don't
the?
trade up to number one if you're not 100% certain
Do
of who
you
you're
know?
drafting.
You know when it went
Why
down?
would they spend two whole weeks debating on who they're going to draft at number one?
Because here's what I'm
Why would they
saying.
do that? That
Here's
makes
what
no
I'm
sense,
saying.
bro.
Here's what I'm saying from what I've heard from being in Charlotte and have inside
That's the
scoop.
talking heads, bro. That
You're
everybody's going to say
you're
what
not
they think.
listening.
That's
You're not
opinions.
listening. So who
You're not
made the
either.
draft? Who made the draft pick? Everybody
Who's
wants to
talking
blame
over who
Tepper.
now? Come
Hold
on,
on.
man.
Everybody wants to blame Tepper, right? Everybody wants to blame Tepper for the whole fucking shit show, right?
Because it's his fault. He's
Okay.
the one hiring all these people.
No. Who's
Yes, he
making the
is.
decision?
Who is the owner?
No.
Who has all the money? He has
That's
the
right.
money. He's
So who do
hiring
you
these
think?
people.
So
He's paying them.
who do you think made the draft pick? Huh?
The whole
Who
room
do
did.
you think
The
made the
whole
draft pick?
room did.
No, the whole
I just
room did.
answered your question. The whole room did.
So when Frank
There is
Reich,
video evidence of it. Why would they all be
there's
happy
also
in the
video
same room
evidence.
on video?
There's also video evidence of Josh McCown and Frank Reich really wanting C.J. Stroud.
Show me that evidence because I have
I'll
yet to
send
see
it to
it.
you because it was
Please
pretty
do.
cool because they wanted to play golf with him and was like, can't wait to get you on the basketball court and get
That's
you in Charlotte.
everybody, dude. Everybody
No,
gets told
and you know
that.
once the Wick test
Everybody that's
came,
a top 5 pick gets told that,
once
man.
once CJ
In
Stroud
any organization.
once CJ Stroud failed the Wick
They
test,
said the same thing to Bryce Young. They just didn't
once
say it on camera.
I'm gonna say this like 20 more times. Once CJ Stroud failed the Wick test and
The
Bryce
same
Young
wig test that
scored
you thought was
what, and
not
I'm gonna
even
say it 20,
necessary
I'm
any
gonna keep
longer.
saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it because I'm gonna tell you what what Tepper saw. Once CJ Stroud failed the Wick test and scored
Same
that
wig
low,
test.
once he failed, I'm gonna keep saying it. So I'm gonna keep saying it until I can finish. Okay. Once
Go ahead.
once CJ Stroud failed the Wick test for the most abysmal since Frank Gore. Okay. Once he failed it, the whole thing changed from inner office out. It wasn't a Frank Reich thing. It wasn't a Josh McCown thing. It was a David Tepper thing. Once Bryce Young aced it and one of the highest scores ever, it was a David Tepper thing. He sat down. Both of the quarterbacks sat down with David Tepper personally. This was not a Frank Reich thing. It wasn't a Josh McCown thing.
Oh, this is
Everybody's going to
speculation.
clap. Everybody's going to clap when your guy's paying you the millions of dollars. You're going to clap. No one's going to
Bro.
give backlash in your first year. You're going to go into work tomorrow.
Bro, all the people that
Yo,
are going to be
I'm
drafted
going to
in
keep
top 5.
saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. You're going to go into work tomorrow, Corey, on a new job and be like, oh, yeah, I was hired to do this. And I don't agree with you, but you know what? You're paying me a lot of money. I'm going to clap to approve you because the guy that owns the control has the control. So I'm not going to sit here and stick up for Frank. I'm not
It
going to sit here and
doesn't
stick up for.
matter who drafted him.
You're still not listening. You're talking.